Hey guys, you guys are real quiet, man. You guys talk about jail and everything else. I'm like,
We need a translator. I'm trying to figure out what a whoop de woo is.
yeah, y'all talking
Right.
about going. I don't know. Y'all talking about jail and Tory Lanez and all that other stuff. And there we go. All right, Tyson. Let's try to get everyone up here. Um, all right, so there we go. Maybe there you go. All right, let's see if we can bring Tyson up here. All right, so there we go. Tyson, I try to. All right, so guys, what a whoop de woo is? A whoop de woo. That means like, yo, you in some trouble. Whoop de woo. That's like the bullshit.
That's the fact.
What that shit mean?
That's that is.
It's like a wop wop and a whoop de whoop and
Yeah.
you know what
What
I'm
happened to
saying?
old
I
boy?
don't
He got hit
know.
with that whoop de whoop. You
Yeah,
know.
listen, boy, y'all Georgians.
Hey man. You like you ain't down the street or something. You in
Oh,
Texas.
I'm definitely country now. I don't doubt that.
Got my. Yeah, you guys ain't sent Jotham over to the hospital yet? Or is it not late enough?
Oh God.
Only Rachel can trigger Jotham to go to the hospital.
Jotham went to the hospital at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, right, and ask for info that he ain't even really supposed to be getting.
He
Like
ain't
if
even
you ask for
family or nothing.
insurance information and you get it, well, somebody's supposed to be fired.
Yeah. Yeah, Jotham, like, I'll go right now. Yeah, he
He
went up.
actually went to the hospital. He went to that hospital.
He went to that
Yeah.
hospital.
Goofy as hell.
Uh,
Goofball.
Hey, Jotham. Yeah, that wasn't me, Jotham. I got
he's
respect for
lucky
you.
he didn't get arrested. He
Yo,
went up there and fucked
yo.
around and been in Fulton County somewhere.
On Right Street for
Yo.
real. What? And
Jotham
I'm
went to
just
the
for real. He don't.
hospital.
Yeah, y'all don't know, man. Y'all just don't know. Being on Right Street, being in Fulton, man, stop it for going up here and messing with somebody you seen on the news.
Yeah.
That's yeah, that'll get you arrested.
Are you
Jotham
family,
went up
sir?
there. Right there. So when it went down like that, chat, Jonathan went up there. He was like, "Yo,
They had to start selling some merch for him to get his ass out.
He, hey, he gonna go on
yeah,
Right Street and be like, "Boy, this city is trash. So we gotta get out of here ASAP. I can't spend a day in here." Man, listen.
nah, he 100%. I gotta give it to him. Much respect to Jotham. Jotham went up there. He was like, "Yo, I'm here to talk to y'all about the dead girl and the baby."
Wow, wow, he really did
Oh
that.
my god!
Investigative reporter. That's why you was calling him Walter Cronkite. Les Nessman up in that.
Bruh, hilarious. And then he didn't even have the right questions to ask. He's just like, I seen it on the news type
No
shit.
press pass or nothing. You didn't have no press
the
pass.
Nah, he
lady,
just went up there.
the lady with the baby. What's she? Does she gonna? Is she gonna have to pay for the medical bills? What? How much does it cost? This case, my girlfriend happens the same thing to her. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Then he's like, saying something like, well, I'm about to head up there and see what I can see about her. They're like, no, you're not, sir.
No,
You
you're
hear
not.
level four?
No, you're not.
He
Step
like,
away.
he like,
You
I'm
said
about to
she on
go out
level
there
four.
and see what kind of condition she really in, and see if you
Right.
guys are giving her like really good care. Like what?
You a
I was on
member
my
of the
social media
family?
app and they
I'm
said,
not. He wasn't even a member of the family. Wow, that's deep.
he gonna be like, I
That's
was on a
deep.
social media app and they told me that she ain't dead. she,
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
that is sad, boy.
Nah. True story, guys. True story.
Nah, true story. I was here last night when they was talking about it, but I went to sleep thinking he ain't about to do that. I went to bed. Oh nah.
Talking about y'all scared of me. Y'all need to be scared of Jotham because he did what now? Not get up
Yeah,
out of his bed
Nah,
at 3 in
lady,
the morning.
he
Jotham,
went up to the hospital.
That's some gangster stuff right there.
yo,
No, it's
he
not. That's
Jotham went up
scary.
there asking questions. He's like, yeah,
Investigative on his investigative shit.
yeah, yep. He goes, now what unit and what floor she at? What you room? They're like, what? He's like, they're like, what happened to her
Floor
sister?
was. Let's get some security out here ASAP. This
No,
motherfucker.
he acts like, what if something like that happened to my wife and she
Right.
come here in a coma? They're like, what?
And he run his household because there's
I
a
have to
lot of
worry
women that
about that.
couldn't leave
You'll
the
be in
house at 3
prison.
o'clock in the morning. Y'all know darn well y'all couldn't leave the house at 3 o'clock in the morning talking about, wait a minute, baby, I need to go find something out real quick. What?
Right. Them folks
Out of
on
bed
social media telling
like
me,
that. Hit the ground like that.
No, didn't he bring the wife with him?
No, he
"Oh
did the
nah, I don't think she came." But I didn't hear that
Oh,
part.
nah.
She would have said, "You damn fool, get
She
the."
stupid.
Nah, she wasn't
He's
going
like,
for that.
Bay.
I
Because he was
Called
like,
a
Bay.
bail bondsman. Where you at?
Now he was
I'm in
not,
Rice Street.
nah, serious. He was like, Bay, Bay. She like, Bay, I gotta go to the hospital.
damn fool,
Bay
that
is
damn
crazy.
fool.
Fucking
Miss
Bay.
Jonathan
I gotta
still
deal with
telling.
this shit
Oh
every day.
shit!
I gotta deal with this every day. Foolish ass nigga.
Jonathan reaching with that shit. Bay is
That's why
crazy.
two not on here after 8 or 9 o'clock. See, because y'all ain't gonna be getting him in trouble. Asking his
Hey,
wife to
no.
telling
Hey,
his wife,
Jotham
baby, I got to
said,
go to the hospital at 3 o'clock in the
Jotham
morning
said his
because
wife,
of cheddar.
Mickey, Jotham said his wife she don't question him at all. He was like, it's about trust. And basically, I do what the fuck I want. I mean, that's really, Jonathan, remember earlier today? Like, we said something to him, he was like,
That's
nah.
where it's at, though. What are you
Yeah.
questioning people for?
But
He said, "This
man,
is my house.
Don,
I'll pay the bills."
Nah,
you
that's real.
better
I mean, if you want to bring
Nah,
it up,
you
that's
can't
real
just leave the
talk.
house at 3 in the morning though, like that. That's I don't know. That's
Yeah,
I
that's
pushing
what he
stuff.
trust you.
did.
I
Nah, but
trust
he
you. But
said
Why
then
what
what
he
you
not?
was
want to do
doing.
at 2 o'clock in the
Why not,
daytime? It
bro?
doesn't matter.
Nah, I can't go. I ain't going for that. You ain't
Yeah,
just jumping out of bed
yeah.
3 in the morning. I gotta go somewhere. I gotta go down to the hospital.
And that's why guys like Joe can get up and prove a point at 3 a.m. While some of you guys couldn't go get a glass of water without asking where you going. Type shit.
Streak of,
That's
I got a
right.
streak of jealous in me.
Type
I get
shit.
a little
That's
jealous.
right. Who
At least
who
you
over there
admit
making
it's
points
all
over
right.
there?
I'm insecure as the next woman, but I don't know.
I'm
I mean, like,
insecure a
you
little
going
bit too.
where? Nah.
I'm
Why don't
sick.
you call them on the phone?
I,
Don't they have a phone number? Let me look it up for you. Here you go.
Yeah, right. For me, it ain't about the
I
sex.
wonder
It's
if he
about
told
the
her the
what you
truth
about to
and
go do.
she didn't just like slap the shit out of his ass like you stupid mother, you stupid.
Right, Q? But you said you got to go question the hospital about a dead girl.
Not
What?
another
Oh,
crazy
you
man.
pregnant?
Because now, what if he got a baby? I'd have been like, don't
Oh,
call me.
Why
Call
is you
Jonathan
checking
and
Hey
on
put
the
him
Jay,
on
she
dead?
probably
chatter
was
because
like,
your
my poor
ass.
husband in chatter. He just ain't gonna learn. Go ahead, baby. Be safe. Him and chatter gonna learn one day. She ain't giving a fuck about that shit, man.
Once your ass go to jail, I'm out of here because you keep listening to these
Exactly. I'd be
motherfuckers
like,
on the
call
internet.
Jonathan Bing to bail you out because you went for cheddar and cheddar needs to get. How you go up there? I got a question about the dead lady and the baby. If you
You
don't
know
get
which
your
one I'm
crazy
talking
ass out of
about?
here
Yeah,
harassing
yeah.
us when we trying to do our good
Wow,
paying job at three
Hey,
o'clock
she
in the
probably sitting in
morning.
the
wow.
bed laughing her ass off, low key.
Nah, I be if
It
I
kind
had
of
his
got a little
ass.
bit of a celebrity. That's real. She's kind of a celebrity in a way.
What?
Where are the transcripts for that room, Jonathan? So I like to read through the transcripts because I heard y'all got into it. Somebody got into it with Grant about black hospitals or something. So
Oh
I
yeah,
want to. Was that the
that
same
was
room?
yesterday. Oh yeah.
That's gonna be two good documentaries. Hers and the Puff doc. That's gonna be Puff is gonna have a hell of a movie off of this one.
Yeah, no, she don't need no movie. She needs to be left alone and let her get this. They get this baby, and y'all stop making her famous for nothing. Like, lady's gone.
that reminds me. I'm so glad Mickey said that. Jonathan, you here? Jonathan.
Yeah, Jonathan or Jotham? Which one?
No, Jonathan. Not
You want Bean,
not
Mr.
not the
Bean.
crazy one. The one that actually is halfway saying Jonathan. JB. Well, chat, you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Because look, I got a bone. I put like this. We even now. I was gonna have a bone to pick with you, but we even now because you cut me off last night from the from Tyra and Grant going back and forth because you knew why I
Hit your
came off
mic.
mic, huh? Nah, look, you knew why I came off. I was like, what? Hey, I heard when she started back up and said the blacks one more time. I was like,
Yeah, you should
oh
jumped
no.
in, man.
But you saved me though. You saved me because I wouldn't be on the app tonight if I started talking last night to me last night.
Not too. Yeah, y'all. Sorry, I'm building the website. The that I wasn't up for Jotham's hospital run. Like that's wild. But yeah, the conversation with Grant yesterday was about like black maternal health and like the discrepancies with black
Not enough
women
black
in
doctors.
healthcare.
Yeah. And they was like, well, why you just can't get more black doctors? What?
In fact, what it was it like called crap? Is it implicit bias or
I think his is pure ignorance.
unconscious bias, right? That people have, and so in the middle of this, like here's the thing: tears, tears arguing Grant, but it switched to something else. But it's about the unconscious bias that hospitals have when they're dealing with black people.
Yeah.
Because in the middle of this, like tears, I've heard Tara always talk about people and say like white people, or the white medical student. She's very descriptive, but during this conversation, all of a sudden, black people became, but blacks, blah blah blah, the blacks, blah blah blah, and it was like a perfect example of unconscious bias. And everyone in the chat, people were like, you know what, we be the blacks equal black people, like it was noticed, but she just kept on because but she was in the heat of the moment, and chat cut my ass off, like because I came out, look, I was, she made me mute just because she knew I was about to be like, hold yeah, she was, why are you cutting her off, why are you blah blah blah. But at the same time, I'd already got in trouble during the Cassie, like whenever the night we were talking about the Cassie case. So I can't get in trouble again. I don't get in trouble too much in life. And I got in trouble because I turned around while I was on chatter, turned around in real life after the door opened and said, let me land. Oh, it's bullshit. Yeah, I had to deal with that the next morning.
So were you mad that she said the blacks?
Yeah, because it's like this. If everyone can be a person, if everyone in the middle of a description can be something, there can be a medical student, there can be like it's just white people. But then when it comes to black people, it's just the blacks.
It's like a
That's
TV show.
implicit bias
The
right there.
blacks.
Oh,
And so
Well,
Are
she
you a part
actually
of it?
said blacks.
say what?
She actually said blacks and
No,
not
who said
the
I'm not a part of
blacks.
us?
no, one time it was the blacks, but it was blacks, blacks, blacks. It was a lot of blacks, and then one time it was
So
the
are
blacks.
you black
Well,
or
I was just
are
about to
you?
say that. I was like,
Well,
well,
I'm,
is
I'm,
he
I'm,
black
I'm,
or
that's
I'm
why
a
I'm
white?
black.
asking him. Like, are you offended by her calling us what we are, or the way she's like? I'm
So
Because he was
confused.
speaking in alliance from what I
I'm
caught.
confused too.
so when you okay, I wait. So when you look into it, now all of a sudden the grouping changes. So if everyone else can get the grouping, as in the black part being the adjective, the descriptive part, and then the
Hmm.
actually being the thing or the person or the place. But in this case, when it comes to black people, you don't get that. You don't get people. You don't get to be in the conversation a person. You just get to be the descriptive color of that's it, which
And you've
means
never heard
you're,
whites or whites in this room, right?
thank you, Barth. Thank you, Barth. And that's man, that's crazy, Barth. Yeah, everyone's questioning it, but Barth, and that's the problem because in
Well,
mid
no, I'm just like
conversation,
I think about how many times I've heard whites, the whites. Like I don't even. It doesn't even
You
like
white.
Yeah, white man,
You
white
country neck.
man.
you know
Yeah, rat. Oh,
yeah,
my
yeah, because
bad.
white
White
privilege. We even
privilege.
get a privilege after it.
I've never heard the whites or whites in
Point it out
conversation.
next time.
Point it out
I will.
because last night white people were said, like all descriptions were said, or plenty, not all, plenty of descriptions were said. But when it came to blacks, bam, that's it, blacks.
Right, but
I
how does
use the
she?
It
whites
wasn't
all
This
the
is
I'm
specific.
still
getting
kind
time.
of
whoop
lost,
de
but
whoop.
It
This
is.
I
is
use
It
I
really
use the
is.
whites.
Because I'm still
I
confused,
I
right?
use
So,
that
right. I'm
term.
still lost a
It's
little bit.
respect.
I ain't gonna
So
because I was
so
going
hold
to ask
so
you
I
a
you.
so
use
to
the
question.
whites.
clarify, y'all missed a piece of unconscious or implicit. Those words like implicit bias means that, well, in this case, it was an example showing that the care to give a black person the respect of saying black person wasn't there, while the care to give every other description, the full description was. That's implicit bias. You relate that to actually the statistics of a black person going into the hospital and the implicit bias on how they're treated when they walk into the hospital, you would see the same thing in conversation. It's just to you, it's so small that you don't think about it, but the small things grow. And all you notice are the large pieces, not the small things that actually show the same signs.
Are you saying
That's
that
what
for
that
me?
was. Hmm.
Well, no,
You
I
would
have to
Pretty
have
beg
never
deep.
to.
seen
That's
it, so
pretty
I'm
deep, man.
explaining it.
I have to beg to differ because
All
that's
right,
why I
go
keep
ahead.
asking you how does she say it because I'm what you're saying right now is that the word the changed the whole thing, right? So let me give you an example. If I said
No,
something
not
like,
just
well, you
blacks
said the
without
blacks.
anything following. I said it was blacks, 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 the blacks, blacks, blacks. But anything else would be people, person, such and such, student. But blacks was just blacks. It never
If
ended
I
with
use
actual.
so clear
Ah,
me up on
got
this.
you.
If I say those crackers, how does
Oh my
that
God. Okay.
is I mean
No,
No, no,
I'm just
no,
saying if
no.
I
Hey,
was to
Jamal.
use that
no.
No, no,
terminology,
no, no,
I'm just
Jamal.
asking
Wow.
him
I'm
to
not.
clear it up.
I'm not talking about
The
that yet. What are you?
whites
I
What?
got
What?
him
and
now. I got what he's
Come
saying
on, man.
now.
Hey, so that's what I was
No,
saying,
but
John.
like what implicit bias is, and y'all know I put that assessment, that quiz in the chat up and down. But implicit bias is, or unconscious bias. That's what it was called first. It was unconscious bias. But it is based on societal norms, how you were raised, who you are, and how you perceive the world around you.
Chad, I took your test, by the way. I meant to tell you.
You did.
Yep, and just to let you know, I took it. The answer it gave me, it said that I was moderate. I don't know what that's good or bad, but that's when I got done answering all seven of those series of tests.
Yeah, it
It
means you
showed
failed. It means you
me to
failed.
be a
Don't worry, King.
moderate individual.
It just means you failed. Don't worry about
Chat.
it.
If you have a link, put it in the chat for me, would you?
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah, me
Yeah, I
too.
took it.
I like to take it. I missed that night.
But see, here's my take, guys. Chat, you touched on it. There is no way that systematic racism will ever be dismantled if we don't stop labeling people. We label each other like instantly. And what's really even more fucked up about that is that the label comes about because it reflects the norm. It's like anti the norm. And then what is the norm? The white male. And like that's the default. And then we have to mention, or people have to mention, that we're black because we're not the norm. It's old fashioned, y'all. It's old fashioned. It sounds really old. Ask some young people if they say the blacks, the Jews, they will cringe so hard.
I won't. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding. I'm
but
just kidding.
no, yeah, like yeah, even
How old are you, Mr.
Yeah,
I?
I'm 35. I'm not. That's why I was lying about being young. I'm not young no more. But to the young guy who originally started the conversation, who made the point about
He ain't young.
No, I'm not. No, I don't know if he is or not. I don't. I never seen him,
He
but
Ma'am,
ain't.
ma'am,
He
let
ain't.
him finish his submission, ma'am.
I agree with your. I'm just saying I
Enough to
agree
be
with your
my
point. I don't
son.
know
He
his name,
ain't.
so
Okay.
I
There's
agree
that.
with your point though. Hold on,
Yeah,
BT, you was
it's
trying to say
really
something?
old
Your mic was
fashioned.
low.
It's giving like 50s and 60s, y'all. Come on.
Oh shit! But I'm just saying I agree when he was talking about. I finally understood it. What bro was saying though. BT, you were
No,
saying
but
something. Your
like
mic was low.
saying blacks or like I don't honestly. Who in here? I don't like African American.
What?
I mean, no, no. I like
What?
being a black man.
I don't. I don't like African American. I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
I'm with
seems
chat.
for it seems
I
forced.
want to be called
I
black.
don't either.
Yeah, I'm
You
with
remember
chat.
a
Y'all don't get
What
time?
it.
the? What
Y'all
did we
don't get what
just
I'm
I
step
saying.
don't know
on? Is
why I
that a
whispered
bar?
that, but I did.
I
But
don't know why you whispered it in. You
I don't
could
know
have
why
said
you
that
whispered it
loud
either.
and proud.
But
you
so,
did.
but
Yeah, I whispered it. I was like, I don't want. I
but
don't know why,
that's not
but
what I'm saying, Chad. That's not what I'm saying. It's the
Jay, I get it. I told the blacks. That's not the way to say it.
like
The
it's the
whites. But I'm
like
also
when
on
you
the
say
same
the, he
page.
said not the. He
it's
said
Right,
he's
Put
but
a
not
P
talking about
behind
the.
it.
no, I'm
Put
he
a
not talking
clearly
about
You
said
the.
he
don't
not
need
black
talking
to.
about
people,
the.
black
It's
people, black
just
people, not
yes,
just blacks. That's all he's saying.
So
yes.
Jay,
That's
let
what
me
I'm
make
saying.
sure.
When
Let me
everyone else can be identified as a when the
Take
extra
that from him.
effort can be identified as someone being a person, and it's so. This is the basics. Like to be able
When
to
you
say,
put those in front of it, does that change it? I
"My
mean,
God, dog,
clear it up
Wait
for
a
me.
second, Jamal.
oh
I'm
my
so
good
lost.
Jamal."
Every time Jay. I don't know why. Every time you explain it, I get even more lost.
Yeah, me too, bro.
can I try?
Oh, yes, you go ahead, Bart, because I know you
All right,
understand it.
Jay.
Yeah.
I think because I agree. I think there is a difference between saying you know blacks get turned down at the hospital more than white people. But if you say blacks, like that just doesn't sound as
Hold on. Are
That
you
sounds
allowing
racist the way
Bart
you
to
said
speak
it.
for
Just
him?
say that
the
again,
Oh,
man.
mute
blacks.
up,
It sounds
mute up,
racist.
mute up.
So I get it.
So
It's
it's
just an approach.
saying
Yeah,
when you're saying white people, you say white people, but blacks, you say blacks.
You guys,
No,
it's
Yes.
That's not what he said.
2025.
saying
We say
the THE is the
hello.
problem.
No, he said THE is not the
yeah. He
problem.
said
THC
that
is
wasn't
not
the
the
He
Oh,
problem.
problem.
said that
THE
that
is
wasn't the
definitely a problem.
problem. That's because I thought that's what he was saying at
Right,
first,
I
and
asked
he
that
said,
clear.
No,
yeah, he said
I said, there's like,
no.
I was like, there's blacks, the blacks. And even there was a pause.
What in the entire
No, no,
hell?
Yeah, he
there was
just
a
said like
Am I
three
pause.
things,
audible?
bro.
Am I audible,
This is when
Quentin?
you called it chat. You caught what I said in the chat when I was like, hold the fuck up, right? And then Tear
BT, you
started
gotta speak
talking
up.
again, and she was like, blah blah blah, blacks. And you were ready for when I came off mute because you
I don't
knew
know how I'm in this.
because you cut me off. How you not in this? You the one
Yeah,
cut
this
me
whole
off.
thing started with him saying that you guys are even.
Because yeah, because I
But see, I really think like I don't because you said chat's mean. Like you be saying little
I didn't
shit
say
that I
what are you
don't
saying
like.
on chat, man? Nobody got time for that
So
shit. Somebody's about to get
if
ready
you
to
wanna
go.
have the conversation, we can.
Let's
Okay,
go.
But
well,
I
whatever
don't
you talking
Put
about,
put
right.
put them
I don't
hands on
cut. I
chat. Throw
don't
them
cut
hands.
anybody. I don't
chat,
cut
you
you
said
off.
why you actually stopped
I
me and said
don't.
why are you cutting her off when
You
you saw
cutting
me in the
me.
chat talking
You,
about
Well, Jay,
I
your
was about to say
mic
something about
sucked
blacks.
last night. I remember. And also,
right.
in Tira,
This ain't got nothing to do. I'm not even
Are
talking
y'all
about your
drunk?
personal chat. I'm talking
nah,
about the
when chat
way
came at you, I
somebody
remember
talks
your
about.
mic sucking.
You were
That was.
going in and
Pause.
out.
Pause, Bart.
But
Damn.
hey, not to defend Tira or a liberal.
Mike sucking is a pause moment.
What?
Scott, you
Right.
gotta
That's what I'm
say
trying to get Bart.
pause.
Like,
My
you're
Word.
God.
not just with your people right now. You with a bunch
But
of other
weren't we
people.
talking about specifically how the blacks are treated different than the whites at a
I love it.
There's
hospital?
no way y'all are this
Yeah,
drunk.
because I
Oh
want to
no, they
ask
definitely
Jay, what do
drunk
you
on
say
chat.
when you refer to white people?
If I'm talking about a
Oh.
white person, I say a white person.
I said people, plural.
People,
So what?
white
Well, yeah,
people.
plural. What if you like saw like you're at a concert, say, "Hey," your friend was like, "Where'd you go last night?" And Jay, you're like, "I went to a Dolly Parton concert." And then the person said, "Well, what was it like?" You would say, There's just a shitload of white people there, or the whites were just
No, you
I don't
say
know
Whites,
how would you
white.
describe
We say
No,
plural
white.
Yeah,
white.
would you say
no,
the whites or would you
White
say
folks.
white people?
We say
I
white
wouldn't.
folks.
No, I don't think I've ever said the whites.
the white
Nobody say it.
And I
BT,
don't
I'm
think
might be
I would.
still
asking.
super low, King.
No,
Oh,
I'm
my
saying.
speaker low.
I just answered.
This is my head
Yeah,
hurt.
super low. That's why they
I
can't
mean,
hear you.
I would never say
Hey,
the
Trust me,
listen.
black,
trust me.
so that's where I agree
Clearly,
with them. But
no one understands what I'm saying. It's
clearly,
cool. I'll let it go. Hey,
Oh, that's the
everybody
best thing
talk.
we could have did for right
complicated.
now.
For it to be
Hey,
blacks
you
and
know
black
what?
people, it's
To be
cool.
honest,
No, I
I've
understand.
always preferred Negro.
Okay,
Is
mute
it
up.
still low?
Y'all
Go
is getting
ahead,
out of
Cher.
pocket over there
I'm
with
just
that.
saying, I have.
Shut up.
no
That
wonder
I'm,
you got
Yeah.
stabbed in prison.
Jeez, mute
Scatter
your
folks need to
Your
go to
mic.
mic so
bed.
low, I
Y'all need to go
can't
to
Put
hear
your
you.
bed.
Type in
pants
the
on.
chat.
My God. Cher, were you saying something? Oh, is that Jonathan?
No, I was kind of laughing, and also I wanted to tell Jay, that I hear him, and I hear you, Jay, but you guys, I wish that more of us would get up into 2025. Like people say, you say POC or people of color, or like
What about now?
I don't understand how people lead with race. I mean, maybe it's because of how I grew up, where I come from. I grew up around, all different types of races of people. And, kids these days, like I have a 17-year-old daughter. She and her friends would say, like, why mention? If I say, all right, we need to get paper towels and we can't go to Whole Foods, so let's get it from the Chinese store. Oh my God, my daughter would fucking die. She like the kids are like,
I just cringe though, and I'm
yeah, you
43.
see, you see.
I
But
cringed. I
I,
was just,
So
the
oh,
I love
Chinese
Jesus.
store,
them.
that's kind of
But it's
Yeah,
not
but it's the
like
same thing.
it's not like I haven't heard it or used it at
Yeah,
some
I
yeah,
don't
point.
even
yeah.
know what a
It's the same.
Because I
Chinese
wouldn't have,
store is.
well, it's the hair store.
No, yeah, no. It's
Oh,
this, a guy who happens to be
And
Chinese,
typically they're Korean out here.
who has a store. Yeah,
what if I
but
said I was
They're,
going
they're
to
not
the
even
you
black
know how.
store
Chinese.
because the
But you
black
see
guy?
how cringy. You see how cringy it sounds, chat, babe. You hear?
But actually,
That's
Korean
how
are the main
blacks sounds.
store
That's how
Yeah, but
store
white
it's
owners.
sound.
right, Jay. It's actually Koreans that are actually on most of the hair store. And this is Jay's industry. He has a business. Like, I mean, this is his business. So,
Or he worked for the Koreans.
but my point, but Cher, I get what you're saying. Yeah, like I do think it's generational too, but I do also think that it's exposure. Like some people I know they've never lived or experienced life outside of the North or the South or the West or America or the
Or
next
their
state
town,
over.
or their
Yeah, or
town.
their town, or some of them they're
Don't be laughing at that.
street
Don't be laughing at that.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
maybe.
there you go. You're a lot louder now. There you go.
All right. So it's white. It's white folks. That's what we say. Look at them white folks. Ain't no white people.
Yeah,
Ain't
we do
nobody.
say white folks.
It's white folks.
Just say
Oh,
white
look at
folks.
them, man. Them white folks crazy. I would never
Is
do
that
no.
a Southern thing though? Do you
I
think
think
North or Northerners saying white folks?
I think it used to be.
No,
I think it used to be Southern,
no.
but it's caught on, and now it's spread out. Cause I even hear white folks saying using the white folks term who be from up north. They be like, "Well, I ain't like them white folks." I be like, "Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You just from the north." But so
But
it's different. But and that's
uh
one.
huh.
And the other point was what we've witnessed is the veil of white supremacy has allowed systems to be put in place that actually let people say uh, white people or be white people, and we're just called blacks. And that is a part of the social conditioning that has happened to make it more comfortable for the white race, and which is why a lot of them do not understand some of the things they do that are microaggressions are actually racist, and they think that they're not racist because it's so ingrained and baked into the fabric of the system and baked into the crust of America's pie that it has made it so they don't even understand some of the racism that they do, which is a simplistic one, is the blacks thing that we just talked about versus white people. And I'll land there. Thank you.
What's your name?
Thank
What's
you.
your name?
Daddy's home.
What's your? I didn't hear
Daddy's
you.
home.
That's BT.
That is BT. His name is
Hey,
I
His
don't.
on
real
on
name
his
BT.
is
I know
profile
that.
is
Braxton.
I
Hey,
can't
Daddy's
do
shame
it.
on you
home.
for not speaking. But
I don't.
anywho,
I can't
I
That's
don't
speak
his
know
on no
profile
BT,
name.
but
on
I
Clubhouse.
wait. Did you say BT?
Yes, BT.
yeah,
Oh, that's
Listen,
my
big
dad.
trouble.
That's my dad's name, Bob Tucker. God bless you and thank you for
Bob
speaking.
Hey, that's a
Tucker.
good
hey, don't
man
just
right
write that
That's a
there.
man off
brother
I'm
like
going
name.
that.
mute.
His name is
That's a
Daddy's
good
Why,
man
home.
right
why do
there.
I gotta go on
I
mute?
don't know. I just felt
Mother,
like saying it.
Well, actually, his name is Dr. Robert Tucker.
Hey, even
refer to
better.
me as Negro.
It's
Oh, I say that
Jamal,
aggressive
as
that's
well.
why
name,
you were
dear
muted
doctor.
before.
Yeah.
So like what we were talking about yesterday, what was because I feel like, and I brought this up in the room today. Um, I don't know if so. There's two trains of thought for me. One is, do we like? It felt like yesterday that people were being enlightened. Like it's like, why are we always talking about race? And it's like it is literally interwoven into this
Ingrained.
country, the
Right.
fabric of this country. Like systemic racism is interwoven, right, into the fabric of this country. Then you have a president that is making things about race. Like he literally is. So when it's like, oh, why we always talk about race, we can't avoid it. We can't
Right.
avoid DEI. What does that to do with? What are they making DEI about? Gender and race.
Yeah.
What are they making immigration about? Race. Like everything, like pretty much everything that every policy has been removing woke, literature and all that. It's been about race. So then it's like, then we hear, why we always gotta talk about race? You think I want to talk about that every day? I don't. I would love to, and I said this earlier, I would love to live in a world where that isn't always slapping me in my face every day. I would love to live in a world like that. In the military, I got a little glimpse of that, right? Because in the military, it don't matter when them rounds are over your head. There are no atheists in the foxholes, and there are no racists. Like we just trying to get home alive. So I had a little glimpse of it, but like I don't know if some of us don't fully understand how much this administration has elevated racism to this point where we have to deal with it.
Right. I mean, but they act like the timeline is so far. Like yesterday, even with the Grant thing, he was like, "Well, how long ago was that?" Like, some of this stuff ain't even 100 years old that we dealing with. Like, hell, that's all.
Well,
That's the ignorance I hate.
I'm happy you woke that up because actually, when I talked about the systems put in place, one of them, or the illusions, is they change a lot of pictures to black and white on purpose that are in color originally. So forget reparations now.
Yeah, I mean, oh, there's
Oh, he had a little
Keisha.
campaign ad at the end of that.
Did anybody else want to chime in? Go ahead.
Nah, I just say he had a little campaign ad at the end of that. That was nice. Preparations now. I'm with you, King.
Side note: while there was color photography, little bit back in the '60s, only newspapers printed in black and white. That may be
Yeah.
why.
Well, Scott, like, and BT, like, I don't think, I don't know. I mean, I am a Republican and I'm a black Republican. So there's that. I did not vote for Trump. So there's also that. But I'm not a bootstrapper, but I mean, shoot, I got clowned in the chat the other day or dragged or whatever because I'm like, okay, now what? Now what? We know this. We've known that. these things people in the room, right? So I'll broaden the conversation. But I don't think, like, on one hand, I'm not a bootstrapper, and I do believe we can overcome a lot of things, and it is interwoven into our society. On the other hand, it's like, okay, now what do we do? Do we have to always, one, go back and go and educate? Is it our responsibility to educate everybody on it? I don't think so,
I'd
but
like to
some
hear
people
from
do.
the whites.
That's me.
But I do, Scott, go ahead. Jamal wants me to be quiet.
No, I just thought it was funny when he said the whites. That's going to be
I
me.
Yeah, I just want to hear from the whites and see what the whites have to say. I'm looking at a couple of white PTRs. That's why I want to hear from them.
Ross, let's hear from you.
Yeah, how do the
You're one
whites
of the
feel about it?
whites.
How do the whites feel about it?
Ask me a question. I'm right here.
Oh my god,
That
that's
was the
hilarious.
question.
Well, I do feel like the phrase "poor whites" is hilarious. I will say that.
Yeah.
That's
I
funny.
love a good poor whites one.
Is there anything, are there terms that are offensive
To us, or when I say to the
to the
whites?
whites?
Not really. I get
Is
offended.
cracker offensive?
No. I get offended when I get lumped in
What about
with.
cracker ass cracker?
No, I love that one. Crack ass
That's one of
cracker.
my favorites. That's
Hey,
one of my
y'all
Yeah.
is
favorites.
out of
I just walk
pocket.
around. I'll
Funny
just be
as
like in the
hell.
middle of Home Depot, just go crack
Chat,
ass
you
cracker.
crazy. He said this cracker a problem.
No, I
Well, I'm
mean,
gonna ask, is honky a problem?
No, but that's a good
nah,
question.
hell no.
Cracker's not a problem.
That was so blunt. That
Yeah,
No.
was so
because I was
blunt.
told I couldn't say redneck Mark. And where is
Oh
redneck
hell
Mark?
no! Yeah, that's offensive if you don't call him
And
by his
I'm from
real
the
name.
South. Why can't I say redneck Mark?
You
Like, I feel like I
can.
should be able to.
I give you permission on behalf of all of the whites.
Thank you. Thank you.
No,
You can
no,
say
no, because
cracker
I don't
Bart
even
and
is
know
redneck.
Bart.
redneck
And he
as
thought give
long
you
as he
No, I
permission.
would
He
says
gonna
never
get
say
it.
beat up.
cracker, but
He
I do
go
want to
back
say
home.
redneck Mark.
It's like it's funny. It's a
Bart
saltine
allowed us to
cracker.
do
It's like
what?
funny to me. Like I just found out mayonnaise is a white pun. I love that
Absolutely.
one.
Absolutely.
Oh
You love
man.
raisins?
No, I know how to cook.
Oh, okay. You got what's in your seasoning cabinet?
Yeah, Tony
Jackie, funny.
Chachere's, saffron, rosemary.
I
That's
know
probably
paprika.
expensive.
You got seasoned salt in them? Lowry's or Tony
Oh,
Chachere's?
I got some all I use is
Oh,
Tony
okay.
Chachere's and Lowry's.
That's why your blood pressure high now. Just
Yeah,
saying.
I just want to point out that I didn't take this conversation where it's going right now. I was actually still
Oh
only
no, you
pissing
definitely
by it, and
initiated
I
this shit
went
though.
ahead. This
You
chat out.
definitely you definitely
It's
brought us
your
to the
fault,
front door.
Shay. Because you know
Just
Tara
blame
didn't
me for
intend that.
everything. I'm
Nah,
okay
Tara
with
nah,
it.
didn't
Yeah,
bro,
mean
tonight.
bro
that.
definitely brought us to
That's
the
why we can
front
look at
door.
We
intention
gonna
with
be
what
Yeah,
good
she
people are
tonight.
really
saying.
didn't. I don't think, like, she's not the type of person I would attribute, and that was part of the reason why I did interject, because I don't know if some of you understand the relationships that people have built over time, because y'all are kind of newer to the space. And if you know Tira, you know that that wasn't her intention,
Right.
to Mickey's point.
Yeah, nah, Tara cool. I don't know who you're speaking to, but Tara's cool. I thought she was speaking in alliance with us, not against us. So,
I think she
but I
spoke
don't
in
know.
the proper terminology as far as English in regards to the way the conversation was. We were talking about how now I'm afraid to fucking say. Do I say
Yeah,
African Americans?
you say,
Let's.
go ahead, say what you gonna say.
No, say
I
black.
like
Say
blacks.
black.
I
Do
like
we
Just
say
say
blacks.
blacks?
black,
Black.
I'm
We
not.
bro.
like
I don't
black.
want to piss anybody
Don't
off.
change it up now.
Well,
I
me.
Oh
prefer
Lord, you just
Negro.
asked
Say
the
the black. You
question.
can even
That's
say it
another
crazy.
thing.
Just don't say
Well,
African
Bart,
American.
to be perfectly honest,
Black.
it depends on what people prefer to be called.
That's what I'm
And
saying. So, like,
yeah,
I heard
The
some
it's
people
not,
say
blacks.
we're not a
black
Always
is
doing
monolith.
bad.
stuff.
So,
We don't all respond or react the same way. When I overly responded to what Grant said that day, that was a very visceral response for me because I was listening to his tone and I felt that I knew where he was going. So I responded before I even could, really think about what he said, if that makes sense. Like, I know when you're just bullshitting, and I know when you're acting an asshole, and I respond to you in kind. I think that 99% of the time in this space, and probably even on Clubhouse and social media, people are just responding from a place of trolling. But sometimes you can tell when somebody is doing a little bit too much. But, like gay people have, basically embraced all of the terms. If you listen, like they'll say, oh no, we're the gays and you can't sit with us or whatever. Or if you're like, well, this is what the blacks do versus what the whites do versus what, the Hispanics do. Like, because we say the Hispanics, we don't say the Hispanic people. So, I mean, it's just intent for me, right? As I think it is with a lot of people, because people are not going to say the right word. And for the record, I am perfectly okay with someone saying what is your preference or what is something that is generic, because it probably is exhausting, right? I don't want to keep track of, well, Jonathan prefers this and Miki prefers that, and Nelson prefers it. Well, we know what Nelson prefers, and Jonathan prefers this and Rico prefers that. Like, just read my name and that's perfectly fine for me. And I understand when we're having a conversation from your perspective of when you say, well, from my perspective, maybe if you add from my perspective, then that makes it, then, some black people, it appears as if da 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 da. Because that's how I dance around it, right? Like, we're all adults. We know when we're being insulting or when we're being all encompassing or when we're even stereotyping, right? Like, we know when we're doing that.
Yeah, that's a fact, Mickey.
So,
Fact.
Cher, you said this is wild. Why do you say this is wild?
Sherry, I think I know Sherry. I know who Sherry is.
Yeah, that's
And by the way, Shmiki, I agree, and
oh,
that was well said.
You gonna cut the lady up?
Thank you, Barf.
Well,
Barf
Barf,
don't
barf.
got
I
no.
didn't hear a lady talking, so I apologize, whoever I cut off.
no, you're good. Chat. It's almost hard for me to answer because this type of language is it's just so foreign to me. Nobody that I know talks like that. Like it's just foreign to me. So, but it's all perspective, and like you said, it's
When you say talks like that, what are you
Yeah, what do you
referring to?
mean? I'm confused.
when people say, well, the blacks, this, the Jews, that. I mean, it just. I don't know. It just sounds really antiquated. It sounds really old fashioned. It's giving like 50s and 60s to
Oh
me.
shit, you calling us old?
No, I not old
I'm
in
just
Where
age.
do
messing
you
with
Oh
you.
live?
my
Where do you
god.
live?
I'm
Quentin, you're
messing with you.
freaking 35. Mute up.
I
Hmm?
said I was kidding. He said, I was just being funny.
Sir Ray,
I'm
where do you
kidding
live?
too.
I live in New York.
Well, that's why y'all are ruining the country. We're not following what New York is
That's a
doing.
fact.
New York
Oh
is the melting
wow.
pot that has ruined everything. All these
That's a
blendings of all this.
fact.
So of course we're
No,
not
I'm
going to go
joking.
based off of
Hold
you
on, go
all.
back on how New York is ruining
And
everything.
and
Houston
you
is the
just
most
showed us in
diverse
real
city in the
time.
country. We're doing diversity the right way in Houston. I just want to say that. Thank you.
Yeah, New
I mean,
York
I
is
get what
ground
you're saying,
zero for why
Sheree.
we're so messed up.
I didn't
Literally.
have those conversations personally. Like, I've shared before, I grew up conservative, and my sister is very power to the people, right? She's going to be marching with her Chanel handbag and her Gucci sunglasses.
Hell
But
nah.
she had this conversation with my mom because since she was probably a teenager, I'd say, that's when she got woke. According to her, I didn't get woke until probably Trayvon Martin got killed, according to my sister. My mother did not rear us black. And we've had that conversation with my mother as adults because my mother and my family, I didn't hear the white man or anything else, right? It was just black and white and everything in between, but it was considered in bad taste. It was more classist than racist, if that makes sense. But as I've gotten older, and even me, like, I can always argue demographics because that is what we're arguing. So, I've always had these passionate discussions about what demographics do, or, how Hispanics tend to operate when they come to this country, or even Africans, or even Asians. And it's not necessarily always a bad thing because, you do check off things via the census. And, Houston is diverse. Louisiana was not diverse when I grew up, but I'm well aware of the pride that certain groups have via either their religion or their race or their lineage, especially someone who grew up as a strongly Creole. I'm very, very proud of my culture and my lineage. So I have no problem having a conversation about it. So when we talk about these things, it's not, I get what you're saying that it might appear old, but, it is more of a modern way of speaking versus tiptoeing around it, which is what they did in the 50s. They just didn't acknowledge it at all. It's like it didn't
Mm.
exist. And that was more gaslighting. So, I kind of like that, like my 20, and I'm proud of him. He went and found a mechanic because his car, he said there was a sound, and he was super proud of himself. He basically just found a mechanic on his own, and I was worried. But he goes, Mom, it's this older black man. He's Jamaican. He's going to be real good because and it was just like, I guess he either added an accent, or my son was like, maybe he had a Jamaican flag, but he just casually mentioned, Mom, he's Jamaican. So he's going to be real good. And he just said, Mom, he's a black guy. He's Jamaican. And we didn't think anything of it. That was just the description of this mechanic. He only charged him $200, by the way. So that worked out. I'm very proud of him for doing it on his own. So, in that kind of thing, right? Now, I'm very used to that in the South. You do give that little descriptor real quick, but it's not indicative of really focusing on their race. Does that make sense? And that's an example
Yeah.
from today. That's kind of how we speak a lot.
Right. I feel you. I feel like if my kid heard that, she would say, um, is him being Jamaican relevant to the conversation or his ability to fix a car? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to argue at all. I
The
just think it
debate.
just sounds like him being Jamaican has nothing to do with him fixing the damn car. And God forbid if God forbid if I say anything with an accent around my daughter, or sometimes I live in the Little Caribbean, and or we go to the Little Caribbean in Brooklyn to eat sometimes, and you have to ask for certain things, and they're said in an accent. And God forbid I say that my daughter acts like she wants to die and go under the table.
What's the accent you're talking about?
So say if I ask for bus up shot, I know you don't know what that is, but
I know what that is. It's food.
Trini food.
it is food.
I know what it. I know what it is.
She's, I know what
You
it
know what?
is. It's
See,
food.
you are, so why would you assume I
Obviously.
didn't know what bus up shot is?
You know, Caribbeans and Africans think we ain't got no culture and no
I
heritage.
guess so. No, it's New Yorkers. I think New Yorkers have this thing about people from the South that they think we don't know shit.
Nah, but you did say it did sound retarded because
Respectfully.
she did say she
No,
was going to a
I know
restaurant
what I
and
said,
you
and
said
I
it's
mean it.
food. Like, okay.
What kind of food, chat, is it?
Haitian.
No, it's not. That's
Oh.
Trini.
See,
Well, I had it from a Haitian restaurant. I also learned how to make
But what
it,
is it?
like, like a type of
food.
food,
Is
like
it
the
What,
not
type
food?
what
of
what
food.
type
Like,
of
what are
food
you
is it?
eating?
Is
Is
it
it
vegetable?
chicken?
Is it
Is it
meat? Is it shrimp? Is
Well,
it
don't you start with pickly or pickly or something like that?
It's called roti.
No, not roti. I'm not talking about roti. I'm talking about the seasoning.
no? But anyway, if I were to say something with an accent, even if it's Spanish, I speak Spanish. Like, I don't know, it's people say it's inappropriate and mocking. And you know what really burns me is like when people mock. I'm about to call him Saint Jude, Sir Jude. I hear a lot of people here, mocking him and mocking his accent and putting shit in the chat. And it's just so old and so tired. That shit is 50s, 60s. I can't.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. I mean, that's you. I do think though it's also geographic. Like I'll be honest with you, New Yorkers bother the hell out of me because there is this thing like Southerners are dumb. I mean, I won't even say New Yorkers. It's a Northeast thing because Jonathan does it too. Anytime he references something from the South, it's country or it isn't polished. It
yeah,
is
so yeah, they,
lowbrow. You know what I mean? Like it's like, have you been here? Have you traveled? Have you gone to a city like Houston or gone to a city like Atlanta and fully understand, that you can't throw a blanket on,
the South.
either at Northeast or the South. But Like I do feel like the Northerners kind of hold on to those stereotypes of the South way more than Southerners do. I haven't. I don't know the last time I heard a Northerner called a Yankee, but have I heard of Northeasterners calling Southerners Bamas? Yeah, because I was called a Bama when I lived in DC. So like it, so you know, on one hand, like we deal with color and race, but I think we also all deal with gender. Like for Scott, sometimes when you speak, I'm pretty sure your accent is triggering to some black people.
Nah, he just got that New Orleans, Louisiana, I think.
No, that's not New Orleans or Louisiana, it's Mississippi.
Or the sip, they all country
They
bumpkins
know we
down there.
not the same.
No, not
Clinton,
the
have you
same.
gone outside of
Way
Georgia?
not the same.
Yes, I have. I've been all over the southeast actually.
So it's not the same. Florida sounds different than Texas.
Oh yeah,
Texas
yeah, of
Texas
course, of
sounds
course.
different than Georgia.
Most definitely. I agree with that.
That's true.
I mean, some people don't have accents. I've been told a lot that I don't actually have a
Yeah.
particular accent, and
Mickey,
I've
you
been told
definitely
that
got an
since
But
I
you
was
accent.
also weren't raised black,
a
so it's
child.
different.
Shut up,
No,
ET.
no.
I
Hey,
knew I should have told your
when you
ass
start
that.
cussing everybody out, your
But the
accent comes
point that
out.
I'm trying to make is like,
I just,
um, I can sound like the patois. Oh, Miss Chapman, like I listen to Zydeco. I think it just depends. But to Sheree's point, like we always make fun of how people sound. Though Americans are trolls. We make fun of everything,
I know.
especially black people.
Exactly.
We laugh about, if Jesus came right now and said the world is about to end, somebody is gonna make a meme and go outside and be like, Jesus said. We will laugh through our pain a lot. we
That's
just
a fact. This
That's just
black ass, he ain't got
Americans. We
no
make fun
shoes
of
on
people
talking
from
about the
Boston.
world
I'm
about to
looking
end.
for my car keys. I need my car. Like that's just what we do. So I don't think it's like I'm gonna hush and then go back to my thing. Is it mean spirited? Are you being mean spirited? Are you making fun of that person versus mimicking them? Right? Just like maybe the youngins haven't, but you know that little thing. He was a man. Or you want me to do your nail, honey? You got color? You want color? Like I'm not
Sam
making fun of their
Paul,
accent.
you want some fried
It's just
chicken?
like, yeah, and I'll try to say quesadilla or beignets. I'll try to mimic the accent. Like I have a friend who has a very Hispanic name, Graciela. But that's how her family pronounces it. So I was upset when she was like, "Why do you let me?" I was like, "Why do you let me say Graciela?" And she's like, "Well, that's how Americans say it." I'm like, "No, I don't want to be American." So I try to say Graciela, like her mama say it, and she's
Right.
like, "Girl, you're crazy. You still don't say it right." But I'm still gonna try to acknowledge it, right? Because that's how her family says it. So I don't think it's an insult when people try to speak the language or order food how it sounds when a native person sounds it. I like to know those things because that's going to be me. I'm always going to try to say it like baracoa, even though I have a terrible Spanish accent, by the way. But I'll still try, and hopefully no one sees that as me being offensive. So far I just get like a little smile and a little correction, and then I just do it a little bit better the next time.
That's all you can ask for.
Yep.
'Cause I know your ass in there fucking
Oh,
up.
thank you for the Chinese accent. I appreciate that,
Oh, I
James.
ain't gonna lie. When you was saying about the part about being little jokish or you being rude, when I used to walk around the mall be like Sam Paul. I was definitely being the dickhead. So yeah, because that's all the time I
You were
seen them
acting
was
like a
in the
Negro.
mall, working. I always got about 3 or 4 of the kiosks giving out the same food. Sam Paul.
And then somebody say whoop de woo. My mama used to say that, whoop de woo, like,
Yeah, you know
and
what
then
the
she'll
one
do like
now.
the hands, whoop de woo, whatever. I was like, "What's up,
Yeah.
whoop de woo?" Like, yeah, I'm like, I've heard of that before. I didn't know,
We spoke
we
like
did
that
it
back in the
different.
day, but
You and
that
your
was
little
that was way
friends,
back.
we're like we all live the same life. You think I'm one of your little friends? Like, come on, we all haven't heard that in various ways.
I just think it's a southern thing because LA people might
Who?
not, huh? I said it might
Who
be a,
thing?
I said it might be a southern thing.
Mm-mm.
No,
Child.
no, you listen. You can't speak for the South. What the hell?
It's Southern.
I thought you said.
Mm-mm.
I just said Southern. We
He said
Southern.
Southern. That was just his accent. See, now we're
Yeah.
making fun
Mm-mm.
of Q's
See,
accent.
she trying to make.
He's
She trying
from
to make
Don't
him
Atlanta.
don't
look
do
good.
that. We're not doing that.
She trying. Who doing
You
what?
said Southern,
He said
Like
Okay.
Southern.
Slytherin?
like
Southern?
Slytherin.
No, like
How
people
would
say pattern. That drives me crazy. But that's because I'm a grammar
you?
Nazi, not necessarily because it has to do with accent. I just get annoyed when people. My mom used to tell us, "Please pronounce all the letters in the word. They're there for a reason.
Oh
Don't
my
abandon
God, I
them."
used to hear
But that
that
was
all
just
the
my mom.
time.
She is a crackhead, so.
Yeah, and I speak with a little bit of
Your
slur.
mom
I
too?
admit that. So don't be on my back too
Hmm.
much.
My mother, you would swear that we grew up like the Vanderbilts. The way that if my mother hears you say Wednesday, she will literally correct a stranger. Jury. Oh my God. She
Oh
would make us go
yeah,
get a dictionary if we didn't
it's
understand a word.
jewelry.
Like that's my mom's pet peeve. Sunday, Sunday. Oh my God, Sunday. Like, oh Lord, it's just whew,
And you know it's so
that
bad.
lady
It
be
I'm
makes
a
me want to
crazy.
keep doing
I'm an
it.
Alaskan,
It makes me want to
so
keep doing it incorrect when I get
I've
corrected like
always
that.
lived amongst the whites. So
Mute your mic.
wait a
I'm about to
minute,
say, you know
God,
what?
What
I
happened? What
Y'all
can't
happened to the
trolling.
whites?
share
What
with the
happened?
whites, God.
Yeah.
I realize, you know,
Why you not
I
allowing me
can't
to share with the
I
whites?
can't troll.
Well,
Like,
mute out. No, I'm joking.
man,
Go
why I
ahead,
got
Jay.
my green?
Forget it.
Yeah, but Mickey, that's how I used to get
Ew.
mad and speak incorrectly even more because I used to get corrected about every word. And you should, say your what is it? What is it called? Your vowels and everything. Say use them
Mm-hmm.
all. I used to be
Enunciate like
like,
Leviosa, not Leviosa. That's my favorite. One of my favorite lines in Harry Potter. So see, like everybody does it. That Hermione
nah,
made fun of their correction when it came to the spell. It's just universal. It happens.
yeah. I just get annoyed. So I started speaking more heavier slang than I would speak proper because I feel like people that spoke too proper, like it was a classist thing. Like you probably be way up there thinking you better than somebody, but it's all right, whatever, proper speaking there. Yeah, that's the
But that
bad part
does
about.
bother me. There was someone the other week, and it was on, where Quentin is, and they said, "Who told you that a suit is proper?" They were like, "Who told you that that's proper?" They, y'all know who the theys. They told you that a suit is proper, and so you're wearing, if you dress professionally, that you are conforming to what they think professionalism is.
Mm, mm,
I thought that was the dumbest mess
Wait,
I heard
what?
in my life.
Oh,
right, like they really
Cause
try
I
to put him in
wore,
the
cause I
box.
wear a suit, I'm conforming.
They try to put him in the box for real, him or her.
right.
But no,
Hey,
I was told this.
Oh, they was talk. They
Or
told you that.
oh, you think because you
Oh,
speak proper? Cause I get lazy in my speech sometimes, but you think because you speak proper, you're better than everybody else. You want to speak because so you can speak like that so you can be accepted. No, it has nothing to do with anybody else, anyone else, anybody else. It has everything to do with the choices that I make. But a lot of times, it's like blackness or whiteness or whatever race. Like you have to look and act a certain way for you to be considered that, right? I said I've never seen Boys in the Hood, never seen the movie
mm-mm.
today, never seen Menace to Society. But guess what people said to me today, Q?
You lost your black card.
They gonna take my black card.
That's a
I did
fact.
not want to see us depicted in that way because that wasn't my experience. So I'd never had the desire, even to this day, to see us depicted like that. I love sci-fi, but I would rather see my people depicted in a better light than that. Not to say I don't have my ratchet moments or whatever, but
I was
I just
about to
never
ask you
liked
that
the
too.
gangster movies because that wasn't the life that the environment I was surrounded by.
Hold on, so you
But
ain't
I
seen
love
none of our gangster
sci-fi too.
movies though, chat? None of our black gangster movies. You ain't seen none of them. Like
I haven't seen. I saw New Jack City.
Okay, okay. Well, okay. As long as you seen
I
something, I
saw
know you was
that,
like on a high
but
horse of I haven't seen
Minister
anything
Society,
but
Boys
Love
in the
and
Hood,
Basketball.
Juice,
Hmm. I'm cat.
whatever the other ones are, I haven't seen
Yeah, no,
them.
you good. I know. We both know. Which one stood ain't gotta be explained. Yeah,
Good
that's it.
morning.
What would you
Eh,
say is your favorite
Hello.
movie?
Oh, sorry. I just want to say hello to somebody. Q. Do you know who
Hey,
this is?
um, I hear a lot of familiar voices over there. I don't know off the top of my head though.
Oh,
Is
can I cut in? Can I cut in? Q, it's the person that you said, what? She actually talks?
Oh, hold on. What is? Hold on, because
She
Where's she
she
I
from? Where's she
talks.
from? Where's she from? Start there.
and
is
his
this.
name is
Uh,
Quentin.
yeah, late. Let's see. Hold on. Is it late? Not. It's not Layla. What the? Hold on. Let me find what your name is real quick.
Quinn, just say
Yeah.
you don't know, child.
And
Quentin.
well, that's
And
it.
when he
I know who
speaks
her
Queen's
name is. I just
English.
can't. I can't find it. Remember off the top of my head. So you're right. I don't.
Quentin.
I don't know. Let me see.
Quentin, you
He
asked.
don't know. He trying to
Yes.
save
And
face.
Queen, I ain't
I
gonna
clarity.
tried
take.
to say Facebook. I don't want. I feel like people be
It's
waiting in
Tam.
line
Tammy.
and
Q
shit, and
is
you be
my
like,
boy. It's
"Oh,
Tammy.
hurry up!"
Mickey.
I
You ever been
love
in? You
Quentin.
ever been in
I
line and
love
folks
Q.
rushing you and shit?
I
I hate how y'all did
love
them like that.
Quentin's accent. Oh
And I
my
know who this
goodness.
is.
He should read poems. He's so soothing. That voice. Hey, Quentin.
Hello?
Hold on. Who is this again?
The hello?
Oh, hold on. Somebody tell me. Somebody
He's
tell me what's
handsome
going on. Cause
too.
hold on.
I love
I
Q.
thought
Oh,
this was
he is a gentleman.
He is a gentleman,
Oh my
actually.
goodness.
Q is very
Quentin.
much a gentleman.
Oh,
We
Quentin
find out, Q.
is.
oh,
Yes.
you found out faster than me. Shit, I'm trying to figure out.
Hey, right, look, he over there blushing right now.
Blushing.
And he
Nah,
defends women. He does.
nah,
Oh,
that's
He does
true.
not play that
100%.
mess. Absolutely.
Okay, this ain't
100%.
Hmm?
Gigi, is it? Yeah,
Quentin, do
no.
you know who it is yet? Did you?
I said, is this Gigi?
No, Mickey, don't give it away. Don't
Oh
give it.
damn it, Quentin,
Oh,
damn it,
damn.
Shh.
damn it, God.
Is
Tammy.
it? Hold on. Is it Layla? No, Kayla.
Oh my
No,
God. I mean, come on, man.
Fuck. I
no.
don't.
Quentin, you
What's
don't
You are
In
remember?
Clubhouse, we're in clarity. I need clarity.
this? Can't be Prop D.
Quentin, you don't remember a couple of weeks ago, I was there on Clubhouse with you guys, and I said that someone, this woman who's speaking, I said, oh, yeah, she taught us all about original names of Jamaica and all these places. And she gave us a history lesson, and you were like, oh, she talks? I didn't even know she talks.
Yaka.
Quentin, you don't remember our conversation?
Oh shit. I don't remember. Listen, I don't remember a
He's
damn thing.
so cute.
Oh my god. Who is somebody text me. Just give me the DM.
Quentin, it's Tammy.
Oh, Tammy. Okay. Oh, somebody just said in the
Tammy
chat.
from
Oh,
back in
damn.
the
Okay,
day.
from Canada. Okay. Thanks, y'all.
That's
I'm like,
right.
y'all in here. Y'all supposed to been text me the damn name.
No, so you
Okay.
can guess. How are you, Quentin?
Oh, all is well. All is well.
Yes, I was sleeping, and as soon as I heard you speaking, you woke me up because I've not heard your voice in a long time.
Is Tammy trying to sound
How
seductive? What's
about we just
up? What's
go? We just switch the
up?
room over
Where
to
is Jamal at?
Unedited and cam up, and then we can see everything.
hey,
Let's
I
go.
think y'all need to take this off the app because the way
Nah,
Tammy
this is
talking, she
I'm
got that
not.
good old
Right?
That's what
Like
I'm
she
saying.
said, you woke her up out of sleep.
That's what I'm saying. Do the
Tammy,
cam
you
up.
trying to
Do
flute
right.
the
That's
cam
My
what
up
I'm
and
bad
then
flute
saying.
we
him
today.
This
can.
out?
boy
No,
Okay.
because I've heard Quentin
Quentin.
talk a
Quentin.
lot and
Hey,
explain.
Quentin. Oh, he's very smart.
Clubhouse is
He's extremely
going out.
intelligent. Hmm.
Quentin is
He's got
very
Wi-
well
wi- wi- wi-
Quentin
wi-
has
wi-
read.
got
wi-
a
wi- wi- wi-
twang to
Wi-Fi is
his
going
voice. He's got a country
Yes, he
twang,
does. He has something.
doesn't he?
Yes. Yes, and it's very soothing to the ear that I
She
used to
cute
listen
too.
to
I
him.
Q,
wouldn't
she
go. I
better
wouldn't
you
go
better come
that
over on
far. I
Chatter
wouldn't go that.
Q.
It's got a country twang to it though,
Somebody sent
almost
you an
like a
invite. Somebody
She's
sent you over
Is that
here.
my Wi-Fi
like a
going
she's
out? Look at
married.
he's
that.
got
It
a
is my
he's
bad.
got a
Oh, I have a
banjo.
My
minute.
bad.
And
Oops.
What y'all
Quentin
doing?
did
Fuck is
not
going
come
on
over
in
to
here?
chatter.
You married, girl? That's your after 12 voice.
No, I always hear Tammy at this hour. She wakes up in the middle of the night and pops in half asleep.
Yeah, because it was Quentin's
Oh.
voice. When I heard his voice, it was like I just woke up because I'm like, that's a very particular sounding voice, and how he giggles and how he, just how he is.
Oh.
So it was like, that's Quentin. Yeah.
Look at
So I
look
didn't
at
want to interrupt y'all, but yes. Oh, you guys were all talking about like the accents, and when you guys refer like oh proper and everything, we get it here too. It's like what you want me to speak like the Queen's English? So then when we kind of do the Queen's English, it's like you're proper and you have to pronounce every single word. I mean every letter and and I think I'm talking like, but when my Latino friends, hey man, what's up? We break it down and we put a slur or a Spanglish or who we're talking to. If I'm talking to a Trini, if I'm talking to a Jamaican, if I'm talking to a Portuguese person, we slang it down. Like at least I do. But when y'all, because y'all is not a word, and we get corrected here all the
Y'all
time.
is a word.
Y'all is a word, honey.
No, y'all is not a word.
Yes, it is. Look
Y'all
it
is a
up.
word.
In the South, it is. But DJ, can you say
No, it's a
water,
word.
please? DJ,
Mick,
please say
Y'all is a
water.
word.
Can you
it's
say
not.
water? You said that people make fun. Oh, DJ, come on. That's
Mickey
not
is
nice.
Mickey is it a word?
Y'all? Mm-hmm. How y'all doing? How your mom and them? How your mom and them
Y
doing?
apostrophe ALL. Y'all.
Mm-hmm. How y'all doing? What y'all doing up in here? Yep. It's
You
universal.
oh,
It's
it's
you
not
go next.
universal.
It's a contraction though. So I mean, but it is a word. Like you know how
You
they
all.
update the in well, I don't know if y'all do that in Canada, but they update definitions and add words to the English language and stuff
You're
like
absolutely right.
bootylicious is
Yes.
a word, right? And you have phonetics, you got stuff like that. So yeah, it's a
Yeah,
word.
no, you're right. You're right. They do add new words because if they get used very often, then eventually they get used. But like here, they always want you to bring in an Oxford dictionary.
No, it is a contraction of you all. That's what I'm saying. It is. It
Yes,
is. It
yes,
is.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
it's a word.
yes.
We misspell it wrong because it's not YA comma LL. It's Y comma ALL. But YA comma LL just looks cooler, I guess. But no, it is a word.
Oh, okay. Well, no, we were always taught here and always corrected not to say it that way because it was like, that's not a word. That's not a word. So you just get used to not doing it. And my cousin who lives down there, she'll say y'all. And I'm like, it's kind of catchy, but it's not a word. We all
You,
say that for some reason. I don't know why,
I think it's
but you're
regional
absolutely,
too, Tammy.
sorry?
I think it's regional too, because some people say you all, some people say use,
Yes,
you
yes.
all, y'all. So I think it's like geographical as
It
well.
is. It totally is because like no one here that I work with or friends, we don't use that word at all. We don't use it that way. We just
But
don't
I
use
will
it.
say I'm very cognizant of y'all. Like when I lived in DC, that was like there are certain words that we use down south or in Texas that I was very cognizant of, and y'all is one of them.
Right. Okay. No, it's just whenever I hear that word being spoken, right away everyone here will think it's an American person.
Who is
That's
drinking
how we
that strong
associate
ass soda in the middle of the night? You need to be drinking some water.
some
I can
soda. Yeah.
I can
Who
hear you.
drinking the soda?
Whoever's on the
Oh,
other
what
line
about
getting that Sprite.
zero and
Wake up.
O? That is my pet peeve.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Wait, how does that go, chat? I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah, so like when you're giving your number, right? So like say
Okay.
you say
Yes.
6031. That bothers me.
Ah,
O is a
yeah.
letter, zero is a number.
That's right.
Right.
That's my pet peeve too.
That is
It's
my
the,
pet. That drives me nuts.
Yes.
Hey,
so
hey,
was it
did you
like that
start?
before
Did
the
you start
military
giving a
though?
different number up by the end? Like
It,
he
it
can't
was because my
be.
mom was a big stickler for that. That and I couldn't say lie. I
Oh,
couldn't call people a liar. I couldn't say
no,
lie. I
that
couldn't say hate when I was younger. I couldn't
Oh,
say but.
or
so
how
what
about
could you
what?
say?
Definitely couldn't say what.
Oh
Oh
yes.
no, you
Or
can't. What? That's
huh?
grown up at all.
Huh? That
Mhm.
that is a whole thing. Like I get on my niece and nephews about that. Huh? Now when I got older, and I mean like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, my mentor, one of my mentors, she's from Spring. She's an older white woman, love her to death. And she actually corrected me one day. So I used to call her Miss Twyla. All right, she's an older white woman, and I used to call her Miss Twyla. And she was like, "That I don't like that." And I was like, why? And she was like, it's giving subservient. Like either call me as you can call me Twyla, but whenever people throw that miss it in front of a word, even though we think it's courteous in the South,
Mhm.
it's very subservient in its delivery if y'all really think about it.
Oh, it is.
And you think about
Yeah.
why we say that, like, we were taught that it was proper or it was giving it's respectful or courteous to do that, but some people see it differently. So I've corrected that since then because I was like, it does kind of sound very subservient.
But how do you address a teacher, for example, in class?
Well, you would call them by their last name,
Right.
Miss Johnson, or but like we do that with people.
It's Etheridge.
We don't know. We don't have a relationship, right? Like so Tammy, you would be Miss Tammy. If you were older than me, even by a little bit, you would be Miss Tammy. And I was taught that that was a sign of respect to throw a miss in front of it. But if it actually
Um,
comes from slavery.
oh, I didn't know that. No, because I mean, here we just will call a teacher, like, Miss So and so, and her by the first name. And we're told right off the bat. And we sometimes we don't even know what their first name is. So you say Miss So and so, Miss
Because you
So and
always did it
so,
by the last name. I ain't never knew my teacher's first
by the
or I
last
said,
name.
yeah, it's
Yes.
all you always did it by the last name. Because my dad did me the same way, chat. And but you start talking to people out in the street, and they be like, "Please don't call me that." Like they feel like either they feel old or
Right.
they're like, "You aging me out, young man." Like, damn, why so different things like
Or
that
when you
been
say
going on.
ma'am or sir.
Yeah,
Like
when you
I'm
like
I'm
yeah,
43,
Mister
so
and
I'm ma'am
Mrs.
age now. So
Yeah.
people are saying yes, ma'am to me. And I'm
Hmm.
like, oh, am I here?
It does. That's the same
I have
thing when you said it
arrived.
about
I'm
not being
I'm
able to say
now
the word.
ma'am now. I'm like, ooh, no, call me Christy. Like, don't call me
Hey,
ma'am.
but look, when the
Mm.
kids used to do that hunt thing to you when you was young, you didn't mind it. But now you grown, you ready to
Yeah.
backhand them little motherfuckers. Like, who you talking
Yeah,
to?
huh?
Huh?
Who you talking to?
Who is you talking to? Don't hum me. Don't what me. You get mad at all that. I get mad at that shit for real. Like,
But if you don't want them to call you Mister, that's what I'm saying. Like my mother's pet peeve, and my mother is in her 70s. Her pet peeve, and this has been for years, even when she was, I was like middle school, was when a child called her by her first name. So I think it's kind of sad, in my opinion, that the old ways are going, but we want children to respect their elders. I think part of this global disrespect is because we don't have it the old ways, right? I was reared to never call an adult by their first name unless I went to school with them, just kind of as a metric. So it was not even a sign of respect, more like acknowledgement. But I refuse to call some colleagues like, why is Dick the nickname for Richard? That just, I'm not calling you Dick. I'm just not.
facts.
I
I don't
don't
know why
care
people have them
if you're
odd
like,
names
call me
like
Dick. I'm not calling you Dick. I'm
you're
like, I'm just,
or like Mr.
how the fuck
Gay.
do they
Like
even
I'm
do
not.
that? Yeah.
Your name is
So I
Gay.
actually had Like in one occasion, we have, I've worked with, clients, and some of them could be quite elderly. Like we had an 80-year-old, and let's just say that his nickname was Buzz. I had to talk to some of the younger financial planners because these were kids in their like 20s, early 30s. They should have known better. Well, they would go up to these 80-year-old people, and it does not matter that they were worth tens of millions of dollars, right? It's just the fact that you don't know them. I believe that people have to give you permission to call you by your first name. That's how I was reared. So I literally had to be like, "Hey, you can't go up and shake his hand and be like, 'Hi, Buzz, how you doing?'" And in some cases, the older clients would kind of look like, "I know you didn't just call me by my nickname."
Right.
And they did not understand, like, well, I mean, it's in the CRM, but you don't know him. You can't call him by his damn nickname and he 80 something years old. Like, show some respect, child. So I literally had to have a conversation with one hardhead. He was like, well, he's not better than me. No, but he is your client and he needs to give you permission to call him by his nickname or even his first name because you
Wow,
don't
and this
know
is a
him. He
client
had a
being a
hard time
dickhead.
understanding that. And I'm like, child,
I mean, that's a
where's the
client being
respect?
like that. That's crazy. You working for this man, handling his money or whatever, and well, he ain't better than me. What the hell? Sir, you see his bank account. He probably worth a lot more than you. He ain't being talking back.
Yes, and Q, that's what I've seen like with some people that it's kind of like this, well, you're not better than me, but I don't have a problem with it. And then I have one little other quick story. I'm black. I look black to me, but maybe not to everybody else, I'll say. And I had to travel at one point in my career. I worked for a broker dealer and I was over the insurance program. So I talked about like our annuities and our insurance. And if, another like an independent broker wanted to sign up with us to do annuities, yada, yada, yada. So our clients were banks. So we would travel to the Northwest to all of these banks, da, 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 da. So one of the recruiters was a black guy from the north. I think he was from like DC. Loved him to death, but when we would go in to meet with these, like the president of the bank or whoever was over whatever we be doing with, right? I would look. First of all, these men were old as shit. You talk about, and this is probably, it was in my early 30s. So, this is like when a 70-year-old looked like a 70-year-old. So I would immediately, hello, Mr. Johnson. Oh, well, you don't have to call me Mr. Darling. Hello, Mr. Robert. Like, you're 80 years old. I'm not calling you by your first damn name. So he actually said that, had a similar conversation. This was probably 20 years ago. He said, you don't have to do that shit, because you black and you don't have to do that. And I looked at him and I said, first of all, it's a sign of respect. It's not the respect that they have to grant me. It has nothing to do with it. This comes from my grandmother. Like, this is in the bone. I'm going to call them by their last name. I'm not going to go up to an 80-year-old and be like, how are you doing, Bob? I'm not doing that shit. I was like, I'm just
Right.
not. And he really had a problem with that because he was like, are you just doing that because you were black? And I looked at him. I said, didn't I call your 60-year-old ass Mr. Jones the first time I met you too? So some people, I'm like, you're not going to put that slave narrative on me. I'm giving you
Right.
respects because I was taught to give you respect. And if you don't want me to call you that, I'm still not calling your 80-year-old ass Bob. Okay, Mr. Bob, sit your ass
Well, I've
down.
never
It's not
heard of
that
that.
serious. Yes. He's
I've
like, are
never
you
heard
doing that
that
because you're black? Get out of here.
because you're black. That's
Mm-hmm.
no, it's just you do it to anyone out of respect.
He tried to use that as a
Yes. And
relatable
it
thing
is
because they're both black.
respect. And I teach my kids the same. Do not go up to an older person and have the audacity and bad manners to call them by their first name. You better not. You
Right.
absolutely better not.
Your mama say
But
you better not embarrass me when you go out here either.
Exactly.
it's etiquette. That's what it
Right.
is.
It
Like
is
this,
etiquette. Yes, I believe in that.
it's a lost art.
Yeah. No, it's definitely lost. Yeah, I don't think it's ever gonna be found. Not in this day and
No, no, no.
age.
It's demographically. Let me correct myself. It's demographically a lost art. There's still parents today that teach their kids etiquette because they plan on raising their kids to put them in the same circles that they're in, and their kids are the new circles. And all of their kids are taught the same etiquette that their parents knew. And so the issue with people who don't understand etiquette is that when they're raising their kids and their kids don't understand etiquette and they run into these circles who of kids who do have etiquette, they are now an outsider, and they will always be an outsider until they can actually learn etiquette. I mean, that's crazy because we're talking about how you walk into a home or a house, how you walk into a room, how you eat food.
100%. You're right.
Yes, and all of
100%.
okay, man. You see it, Tammy, and all of this matters because the first time you're in a certain situation and you don't act accordingly to the situation, like everyone else already knows how to act according to the situation, you are no longer a peer. You might be something of service, but you're not a peer. So you won't be considered when it comes to things like partnerships because peers are partners. Anything that's not a peer means that you're at service. And that is something that people need. Either they need to figure out how to seek it, pick it up, read about it. There are actually schools, but to learn these small little nuances on how to live life, especially in certain situations or social situations, means a lot when it comes to like people who want to either break barriers or they want to get in the position where their kids can break barriers. And I'm gonna
But
land
but
right
you
there.
but Jay, some people will say that that's acting white.
Yes, you're absolutely
Matter of
right.
fact.
It's like you're trying
Mhm.
to act white, but no, you're not trying to act white. You're just, if you were speaking a different language completely,
But
you would teach
that's
him,
only said
you
when you
would
coming
teach
from
him
the hood and
that.
stuff.
Yes, if it was a second language, a third language, like my, obviously I know how to speak Spanish, but my parents in Spanish would say, no, in Spanish, when you're meeting a first person, this is what you do. This is how you greet the person. This is, you know, in Spanish. And then I would then cross it over into English, and I would get a certain different treatment, but only because my parents were doing it in English. So I would take it to in Spanish, and then I would take it to the English side. So they said, "Oh, your parents taught you manners." So, and what Jay is saying is it starts at home actually, because I remember most kids, "Mommy, can I do this?" I don't know. Can you? May I? May I? Because may I is in the permissive. And it's, oh, can I go to the washroom? I don't know. Can you go to the washroom? So we always correct this, can I, can I? And all it is just being correct. But you're right. Depending how you speak, someone will come across, oh, are you like you're speaking like a white person. And I'm like, okay, I get it what you're trying to say. No, I'm not trying to be white. I'm just speaking properly. That's it. I'm just because that's really how you say it. So, but I would understand that, but think about it in a different language. And if you're not white or you're a different color in a different language, then what are they going to say? Right? Are you trying to speak white? It's like, no, I'm speaking properly. And that's how I was taught to speak properly. So when they associate those two things, I don't like it. Because it's like, no, dude, I'm not, no, I can do the sound white because it's like, hi, Karen, how was your weekend? Oh, it was lovely. And I do this whole thing, and the people go, oh my goodness. And I have white people
Is she
say it to
coaching?
me. White people will say to me, boy, you really do sound white.
Oh
And
wow.
then in my head, and I giggle, and in my mind, I'm like, you're such a stupid idiot. I just mimicked you, how you speak. And you then turn around and giggle, and you're saying to me, oh, you really do sound white. And it's like, you're such an idiot.
Or they
I
like,
just,
you really do sound like you're one of us.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
one of
Oh,
us
I've
now.
had it. This was a horrible thing. I'm at work and there's this full on white woman and how she speaks. And, I do change how I speak when I'm at work.
I'm code switching.
And there
Y'all
must
know.
have been someone, she was Yugoslavian or something. So she kind of had an accent in her English and how she wrote. Her grammar was off. And she left she left the firm that we were at, and the white person says to me, she goes, "Ah, well, she did have an accent. She did speak like this." And she was kind of like criticizing her, and she's standing next to me, and I'm like, holy shit, she's treating me like a white person. And it's like, does she not clearly look at me and like not see that I'm not the same color as you, that I am Hispanic, I'm a Latina? And I was so offended, saying, you know what? It's like, I can have an accent at times too, or I can't pronounce a particular word. But the way she was sharing it with me was like, oh, this is what you white people do. This is what you white people do. Like, like when we're not listening. But she totally forgot. And I'm like, ah, noted. But yeah, it's they do that. Anyways, I learned.
Whew, let me go ahead and fill that quiet space because it was just about to be quiet for at least another 10 more seconds.
Thank you.
I'm gonna tell you what though. So to me, and I just pretty simple. The language of etiquette is the language of money.
Hmm.
And that's what I learned. And that's
Preach.
what my analysis like along the way. You can. It's funny like you can tweak certain things, and do more. And there's a point where you reach a certain barrier, and one of those barriers, major barriers, etiquette. How you sit back in the chair, and your mannerisms while you hold a conversation. That's
Your cadence.
yeah, that's yeah, yeah. You say cadence.
Yeah, yeah. I was agreeing with you. Like it's called cadence. Like how you speech. That's how you speech. How you talk to people. How you talk.
Yeah, yeah. Like how your shoulders sit. You know,
Hmm.
it's and I don't know. Depending on where you're in life, it matters.
Yeah.
And I mean, some people, yeah, they can argue it. And they can be like, man, like Chat said, like, man, they say I talk white. Well, okay, that's what they think, but when you get to a certain point in life and, a certain status in life, not status, status, stage in progress is a better way to say it. You realize that, man, I have to change certain things to get to the next stage.
Hmm.
And right, and that's just a piece of it. It's just like a athlete who, let's say they're in high school and they're just naturally talented to one day realize they actually have to go in the weight room and lift weights because they need to be stronger. Or, man, I need to work on blah, 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 blah. So now I can have this certain move. I mean, it's just, you always have to add on to who you are. If you're going
Right.
to go further professionally, if you're going to go further socially, if you're going to go further in your relationship, you always have to add on. But some people just don't. They don't, accept that, and that's why they accept where they are.
And so crazy real quick. I just want to add in hindsight 2020 because back in the day when I was a youngster and the kids that wasn't in the streets or whatever they talk proper. We always used to talk shit to them, but as an adult, and I've been on this for a minute, but just for the conversation, like I be looking like, man, I'm trying to I take Toastmasters class. If anybody know what Toastmasters is, I take classes from there because I'm trying to get my speech better. Or people talk like if you're talking out loud to a group of people and you um yeah, and yeah, that's the problem with your speech that needs to be worked on. And some people pay uh, a speech coach tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars to get that corrected. So when you really dealing with money and wealthy people, uh, people pay to go learn how to when you're eating dinner, where to put your arms down at, and where your forks and your knives supposed to go, and which one do you pick up, even though they look like it's all forks and knives, like everything serves a different purpose. It's like you gotta when it comes to investing in yourself, you gotta do everything. It ain't just I get my speech down. You gotta do your how you dress, You know how you groom yourself, how you come to the table when you're eating, talking business and everything. And I didn't even see it, but after you start seeing these things you put together, you're like, man, working on yourself or making yourself better, it's going to have to take you to keep reinvesting yourself over and over again to for you to go to the next level. Especially going to be up there with the if you want to live that life looking like how I just call it the 007 look. Clean, sharp. You know, highly advanced type person. But go ahead. I'm done.
No, I've
Yeah.
heard. Oh, sorry. No, I've just heard that you always have to. You have to. Who said? Oh, gosh, it was my ex-husband. You have to dress. You should dress in the position that you want to see yourself in. He used to always tell me, like, yeah, I knew that. I know that. My parents did teach me that. The other pet peeve, not pet peeve, but the other thing that I was taught that when you're speaking, with people or meeting people, and I see it all the time from like younger people and even some people my age, they talk to you with their hands in their pocket. And that, to me, I was taught that that was considered very rude. You take your hands out, you kind of cross them. You don't cross your arms. You hold your hands, or you just put them on the side, but you don't put your hands in the pocket. If you don't really know them very well and you're in a group conversation, if you put your hands in your pocket and you're just chit chatting away, that's considered like not proper. I don't know. Has anyone ever heard that? Or it was
Yeah.
just my
Well,
parents who told me that.
I was taught that you're supposed to use like left over right or right, whatever your dominant hand is. I'm left-handed, so for me it'd be left over right. But you standing there, and you put your left. I would put my left hand over my right and just hold that still. If anybody's right-handed, they'll put their right over left, but you don't put your hands in your pocket. That's why I did hear that. You just keep your hands, in a fixated mode, but not the angry look like left over right, like have your hands like down to your lower waist and stuff, and right over left, or depending on what your strong hand is.
And don't ask someone in a restaurant, a server, let me get a. I'm like,
Yes.
let you get it. Go ahead and get it then.
Let me.
Like, let me get a.
I feel
Boy,
personally
that
attacked when
makes
you
me
said that.
cringe.
I
It's
feel
embarrassing.
I feel personally attacked when you said that. I feel like you was talking directly to me. 'Cause that'd be my ass right now in the damn restaurant. Hey, you get a bad for this? Hey, you talking about like this country ass motherfucker?
Yeah, I would correct my kids. Um, yeah, let me get a, I says, no. May I please have? May I please have? I would like to have. May I please? In the permissive, but not let me have, and I'll
No, let
correct
me
my,
get. Let me
let
get.
me, yeah,
That's
let
what
me,
people say.
Hey,
something like that,
you
yeah.
see that receipt, and you be like, gratitude, 20%, 20%.
Gratitude
I
is
paid. I paid
hilarious.
20%. You want tip on top of this
I just
20%?
try not
Oh
to be
hell nah! I'm gonna give your ass
because
$5.
a long time ago, a very dear friend of mine told me that I came across as very pretentious, very direct. And I was like, am I? And she was like, yes, you are.
Why?
And I kind of used
Why?
to hide it a little bit, but now honestly, like I can turn it on and turn it off. I can go from hello, how are you? It is so wonderful to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. To bitch, where the fuck you been? Oh my god, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that's my superpower, honestly. So I match tones. Like, it's a bit manipulative, honestly, because I work with individuals. So I can read someone. I know when someone needs me to be very professional, versus very accommodating, versus very, oh my God, mama, we're going to get through this, right? We are going to get through this. Or, oh my gosh, Shay, you from Louisiana? Man, I'm from Louisiana too. You going to give me some pudding? I know how to read a crowd. I know how to, and I'm also not afraid of public speaking. A lot of people are. I'm just like a natural gabber. But I think like around my 40s is when I started to decide to be unapologetically who I was, like in professional spaces, because I just didn't care about their opinion anymore. So, what I teach my children, what I've taught them is that you have the ability to present yourself in a certain way. However, you get to decide what that authenticity is and how you show yourself, right? Because I've noticed even like my mom, who is, oh, Jesus Christ. I always make this joke, and my friends laugh when I say it. You would have swore that we're the Vanderbilts. With just, and a lot of those old Southern families, they're quite pretentious. I mean, I have to say it, right? You served
Mhm.
people on trays. You didn't have plastic cups or glass because you served everyone in a glass. You had your proper silver, you had your formal dining room set a particular way with the charging plates and da 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 da. Do
I
you
feel
know,
like
like
you're
I have
coming
my
from a
aunt's
family like
silver and
that.
the blah 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 blah, the chifforobe and the da 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 da, and it's like, the etage, and it's just annoying. It's just
With the
annoying.
china
Like, look at
cabinet.
this chaise. Like, mama, it's a sofa. It's a sofa, mama. Say it's a sofa. No, it's a
I
chaise.
feel like
No,
you're
it's a
coming from a
sofa.
family like
It's
that.
exhausting sometimes, right? And I don't want to put people off. You know what, Q? You remember this because remember my rooms. Like if I was talking about something that was a very specialized topic, and I know a lot of people didn't know about it, I would kind of like lighten my voice a little. Remember that? I don't know if you remember, but I did that on purpose because I knew that it would, make it easier to digest, and I didn't
Right.
want to come across as like I call it a talking head. And I don't always want to be a talking head because I always sound like a talking head, but sometimes I don't want to. Does that
Yeah,
make sense?
yeah, no, I follow you, and I caught that. I've caught that too because it's easier for people to because people gonna have questions, and it's easier for them to ask questions when you like kind of slow it down and talk lightly versus running through topics like we just see like it's just we all got syllabus or something.
You should hear Mickey when she's speaking to Grant. Mickey, I'm on the floor.
Oh yeah.
I'm on the floor when you talk to Grant and you break it down, boo boo, or you could boo, and da 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 do. And I'm on the floor the way you break it down to him.
She be
Thank
like,
you, because that's my intention to be pretentious
I
as
know
hell when I
I
talk to
know it's
Grant.
your full intention. I
you be
know
like, well,
because
since you don't know the
I hear
numbers,
you.
here are the numbers, mother. Here's the
He
numbers.
triggers the shit out of me. Oh my, I need to work on that.
Hey, but you know what I learned and I didn't know? I was speaking to Lisa, and Lisa apparently is a good friend. And she says, you know he's in character, right? I said, what do you mean he's in character? He goes, he's in character.
Of course.
And then
Yeah, that would be the excuse.
I had no idea because I once went off on him. And the following day she has there's a room, cafe or coffee with or whatever. And she explained and I used to say, oh, you were there when I just couldn't hold back. I just had to I just had to give it to Grant. And then she says, he's a really respectful and kind man, believe
Oh,
it or
is he?
not. He is, oh yeah, she spoke highly of him. And I said, because he should be careful. He's got daughters. And when he's saying the hoe and the this and the that, and he's only got teenagers. Wait until they grow up. So, he
Wait till they
needs to
want to
be
date a black
careful
man.
how he speaks to other women because you don't know what your daughter's going to turn out. You could be putting her in this school and that school, but it doesn't matter. And that's when she said, no, actually, he's very kind. He's very nice. He's because I used to say, I'm not going to judge him. I don't know. He must live maybe a miserable life, or maybe this is how he comes off. And he goes, no, I've been to his home. He's lovely with his wife. His family's very respectful. He's very this. And she says, he's just playing a character. He's like
A
the bad
racist
guy.
character? A racist
And
one? That's what he's
I
playing?
had no idea.
That's bullshit.
So I don't know. I don't know about the racial part, but that day when went off on the hoe thing, and there was a big, I can't remember with who, and then in my head I'm thinking, all right, is this his character as well? Like sometimes I think he's pushing it a little too much, but I think that's what he does, just to attract more people onto the podcast or to have that the two bowlers in the room. And so yeah, I'm rambling now, but that's just one thing that someone told me. He's just in character, but that he does not speak that way. He's very kind. He's not disrespectful that way. So I don't know.
You drinking that? You stay high. You to drink that Kool Aid. I wouldn't give two shits because ain't no man who's in has a character sits here and says Michelle Obama is a black monkey and all these other crazy ass statements folks make. He makes, and that other people around him agree with. So I don't give people passes like that. Ain't nobody gonna tell me nothing. They can say it all they want, but you ain't about to tell me just because
You're right, and
you
I'm
do it on
always thinking
chatter,
that
but you
that he
good
may
at
want to
home.
run for governor or something in California, and it's like you should be careful because if that's something you want to do, right? If he aspires to be the governor, you better make sure
I
you
don't know because
erase
I'm
everything
gonna
on the
bring them. I'm gonna put
podcast.
them clips together.
Yeah, because then
I'm gonna
all
fuck up his
right,
campaign.
because then you know what? There goes your opportunity because the way you've been speaking.
Hey,
Like,
Nikki
Well,
gonna be
can,
Nikki. You
can I
gonna be
rebuttal?
famous,
I'm a rebuttal.
famous too.
sure,
One
sure,
thing.
go.
Okay, you go ahead, Jay.
All right. One. So with how he has to speak, if he's going to run for governor, Trump has already shown a different path, and it's been what the hell? See, I can't step outside just so I don't. Y'all hear my background?
No, we
No,
don't
we're
hear
good.
anything.
Okay. So
You
Trump
on
has
your
shown
own.
a different path on how you can speak and it's still accepted. Like there are plenty of people outraged on, and he continues to stretch this while I'm talking about it. But people are outraged on how he talks. But this guy won the presidency the first time after saying, "Man, giving the guy advice, man, just grab her by the pussy," and that didn't kill him from taking the presidency. It's it's the fact that now the younger generation who actually votes actually also reads energy and they like energy and they're willing to dismiss something said. Plus the fact that people spend money on propaganda to kind of shift how people feel about or how people feel about, let's say, the negative things versus the positive things. As long as you push enough positive out there, people will start to dismiss the negative, depending on how much money is spent on it. Like, so he can technically, even though he talks trash in here, because the thing is, when he talks trash, he always, it seems like there's always an out to where somebody can argue in his favor. As long as someone can argue in his favor,
Mm-hmm.
right, there's a chance. That's that piece. The other piece is what Quentin said about, man, I just can't believe there, there are people who wake up, they chill for an hour, they have their coffee, and then they call it attacking the day. And once they attack the day, they are in character, and a lot of these people are salespeople. They are in character, they are sales until the end of the day. And depending on, let's say, and this is just from my experience, because I grew up poor. The street I grew up on was a dirt road until like I was like a junior in high school, and it was paved. Um, there are people who go to private clubs, private golf courses or some places, but then they're just private clubs. They're just technically restaurants and bars, but they are then labeled private clubs because you can't just walk into them. You actually have to have a membership. You pay a monthly membership, and then you still go in. You operate normally. But in these places, these are where the top people who are in business, your your mayor in a major city, senators. That's where these people reside. And then beyond those places, they'll be upstairs, and upstairs it may be an extra membership, and this is where people go and sit back and relax. And they'll have, I mean, me a scotch If I go or in a cigar, whatever they drink in a cigar, and at that moment they relax and they're not that same person. Like
That's a fact.
at that right, and so at that moment they actually get to sit back. Their shoulders drop. They lean, or they're standing. They lean back, and they actually talk the way that they are. And these people, even though some of them actually come from different walks of life, predominantly white, but with a little mixture of whatever race, and they just sit up there and talk. And they'll actually be able to talk, and they can actually say something, and some would be offensive. But in that moment, everything's acceptable. But
Mm-hmm.
because no one is trying to be offensive. And so they say, okay, well, all right, man, clearly. And somewhere, most of the time, there's no correction. Sometimes, like, hey, I don't say that like that because, oh, you know what, okay, I get it. That's your culture, cool. I'll try to remember that. And then that's it. And they move on. So as far as this conversation is like this in this room and how everyone even look, I have to continuously practice. Like I said, like yesterday with the whole like I said, the blacks are blacks, just blacks, right? Without the personification of it. Like there are rooms where people just sit there and they can actually then throw off everything and be themselves. Grant sits in those rooms. That I'm for sure of because
That's a
it's
fact.
right.
I
So
agree.
don't think that all the time he just sits up here and talks like because I've actually seen him on this app a couple of times talking a different way. It wasn't on the race subject, it was on other subjects. And the whole tone, energy and behind what he was saying, all of that changed his cadence. Like you said, Q, his
Yeah.
cadence changed.
There you go.
And
Mhm.
right. And so, in that just don't dismiss the fact that man, you know what? I can't believe because normally, yeah. It's like, okay, when I get on here, I'm talking to people. Depending on who I'm talking to, I'm going to talk a certain way because I'm going to turn on the switch that like, hey, think about it like this. If you're a runner, you're good at running all day. So what's the difference in running whenever you feel like it's time to run? But whenever you get it, whenever you're finally done with the day, you go ahead and leave everybody, you start walking. But then when you wake up the next day, hey, it's time to you get an hour, you eat breakfast, you drive to the facility, and now you're training. That is some people all day. Their brain is okay from this. As soon as I get to where I'm at, it's on. Bam, this the switch flips, and now I'm in this mode until I'm no longer in this mode.
100%.
And yeah, and they will always, as soon as they know they have a chance, flip the switch. I'm out of this mode, and I
Yep,
mean, that's yeah,
you're
and
right.
No,
that's the
Jay, I
difference
couldn't
between that.
agree. I couldn't agree with you more. And, most of you guys know I've worked with celebrities for almost 20 years. And this is exactly what I made money off of. Um, Let me back up a little bit. So, do you guys know what the number one pillar of being a celebrity or a politician or person in the spotlight is? Does anybody know? Like the number one most important thing?
Your privacy.
Just the opposite is to
Mm.
make people talk about you. Grant is
Ah. Okay.
Grant Grant is winning right now because I'm talking about him.
Yes, yes, you're absolutely
So
right.
let me tell
Yeah.
you, he doesn't do it well. I only work with A-list celebrities, so he hasn't perfected it yet. He doesn't do it well. I've taught celebrities how to be a celebrity. I taught Sofia Vergara how to be a celebrity.
Teach
I
me.
taught Penelope Cruz how to be a celebrity. I've actually had to teach them as a hairdresser. Okay, so I mean, look at people like Kanye West. Come on, y'all. He's walking around with swastikas on?
Right.
Really? He's got swastikas on. Just to do what? What's the answer, y'all? Make people
Give more
talk about him.
attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk about him. And here's the. I'm not going to drag it out because I have 20 years of dirt. You guys would not. It will blow your fucking minds. Um, One, get people to talk about you. I mean, obviously, and to keep that and to stay relevant, you got to do a lot of bullshit. You got to do a lot of stuff to make people talk about you. And here's the sick part: any press is good press. If they said her toes looked black when she was on on the runway because her feet, she got dirty feet, or and I've heard it all. And celebrities plan. And here's where my job comes in. Every job that I've ever done was I show up to do some fake shit to help the celebrity do some fake shit to make some real money. You guys got to see what it is. You guys think I don't know either one of them, but you guys really think Drake and Kendrick Lamar aren't laughing at the bank in Maldives somewhere? You think
You
they're not
mean, or you
laughing?
say that? Do you mean together or just like
No,
in?
together.
Maybe
No, no, hold
together,
on,
maybe
but I'm asking
on
her though.
Maybe.
But
Yeah.
is that what you
maybe on
meant?
FaceTime, maybe boyfriends. Who knows?
No, come
They're
on, whoa, whoa,
laughing all
whoa,
the way
whoa,
to the
whoa.
bank. They're
Yeah,
laughing,
I
and
feel you on the bank part, but I just was questioning. Did you mean like they buddy hanging out at the Maldives,
could
or wherever? It doesn't really matter, but
let
I
me
get
tell you
that point.
something.
Cause they both
It
under the
could
same label.
it could very well be that they're buds, that they're homies. Not to mention, I worked at Fox News freelancing over 20 years, ever since Hannity and Combs, since they were in the basement at Fox News. You guys, can you imagine how much I heard? You know how many times I know I worked with Donald Trump, all these judges, all these people? I
Um,
hear all the bullshit. Okay, so make sure you don't say this, make sure you say that, make sure you stress this, make sure you piss them off with that. Don't say that. Make sure you bring this up. Oh, this will really get people going. Yeah, yeah, say that.
mhm.
And it could be the dirtiest, nastiest shit. You guys, it's all made up. And I made a fuck ton of money off of it. And I charge a fuck ton of money because it is what it is. Grant is joking around. He's joking around.
I
I,
still.
I, I have a friend, and I won't mention her name because she's, on Clubhouse and Chatter. And she told me, she's like, Grant's not a racist. And she's a person of color. She's like, Grant's not a racist. I've been in his crib. I was like,
I know who you're talking about. Are you
really?
talking about? Never mind. I'm not gonna say her name. It's okay.
No, don't say the name. So
It's okay. I know.
I said,
I know exactly what you're talking about. As soon as
really?
you said that.
And they were like, yeah, yeah. And I was like, you know what? How could I miss that? And then I see how terribly he does, and I don't mean to shit on him at all, because I respect everyone. But he'll get better at it. He'll get better. And again, the last thing I'm gonna say is, any press is good press. The worse it is, the better. Because why? People what?
Like attention.
I
Yeah.
Talk.
said that
No,
They'll
you
many,
get
many
talk
people
about it.
times,
talking.
times
All
and
you
times.
have to do
Or
is
talking about,
get
yeah,
people
it's in the
talking.
same boat. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Quint,
you wear the
you're
sluttiest possible thing. You Pamela Anderson was one of the first, when I was like 20. I went with my boss to do her hair, and this is when I started to catch on. He's like, so, and he's like this like fabulous, amazing $1 million guy, and he's like, so what are you gonna wear? He's expecting her to say like, Versace or Balmain or whatever, and she's like, anything that's under 19.99, honey. And I was like, oh, I get it. She's play dumb blonde, and it works.
Yeah.
It's
Everybody has an
all
agenda.
a
I get it.
facade, guys, and I'm gonna shut up.
No, I
Wait,
got
is
you. I
she a
Quint.
got you.
bimbo? Is she like bimbo
No,
talking or?
no, no. She's smart. She's
She's
smart.
incredibly smart.
You can't listen. Check this out, and check this out. And this is my game. This is what I use. Uh, uh, it takes a very smart person to play dumb. Let that breathe. It
No,
takes
I
a
feel you.
very smart person to play dumb. I played dumb for 20 years.
No, I feel you on that. GA I don't know what your last name is. Pimples. Pimples. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, Quentin, we were having that conversation. That's the point that I was bringing up. Is that I mean, Kanye has, if you look at from the college dropout tour to now, he knows how to stay relevant. He really does not. I think.
You call him relevant?
No, 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 no. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. When I say
We're
relevant,
talking about him. We're talking about him.
yeah,
Well, yeah, he's
that's
trying to
my
make his
point.
point to me about his point. Go
That's
ahead.
the
Go ahead.
point that I'm making. I'm not talking about value. I'm saying his only job is for people to keep talking about it. And he does outrageous stuff to stay in the news, for people to talk. Oh my God, look what he did. And I look at this, everything she just said, I see it all the time. And I've said the same thing and been blasted. I'm like, y'all really think that Grant doesn't have three uniforms? He has three uniforms, and he puts them on at appropriate times. You
What do you
know,
mean? What's the three uniforms?
he has a uniform with his family. He has a uniform publicly. Like, let me say that differently. He has a uniform to generate conversation around him, and he has a uniform when he has to be in the room that he's trying to be in. Those are three different uniforms. He is completely different in all three places, and he puts
Can
that
I jump?
uniform on.
So, may I mention something? My therapist told me this a
Oh,
long
go
time
ahead, Nikki.
ago.
I was about to say some get on his ass, but go
Yeah.
ahead.
Because this is why integrity is so important. And what these
Hmm.
people lack is integrity. Integrity. Like,
Right.
I can be honest when I'm reading a room and I'm trying to communicate with someone based upon what I anticipate they want me to say. But that's when I'm trying to get them as a client, right? It's manipulation. I'm not very proud of it, but it's what I do professionally. And it's hard to take that off personally. What my therapy told me is that we're not all these different people wearing a different mask. You're the exact same person. If you're an asshole in public, you're an asshole in person, right? You're not different.
Hmm. Right.
So it's kind of a delusion, but it's crazy to me. And we're just having this combo. But this is why there's no lack of respect, because if you buy into something knowing that it's not real, then who's the crazy person? This is why delusion is so important, and people are literally losing their lives over social media. And before social media, it was keeping up with the Joneses.
That's a fact.
Manipulation is still a lie. It's not truth. It's delusion. And honestly, the way that I was reared, if you have to do all that to get attention, like, come on, bro, you're a performing monkey. And then you're just like a slave to society. I don't want
Hmm.
society to dictate me. At some point, especially for older people, I understand a 20-year-old doing it. But if you're like 60 something, 40 something, why are you doing all that? That should be exhausting. Putting on a mask and performing for what? Strangers on the internet?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
weird.
Nikki, keep
And I'm
going, cause
sorry.
I was
He
about to.
plays
That's
pretty well at being a racist. I don't really give a shit what he does with his wife. He has sex with her. He dances around these topics way too much. I've heard him speak on them ad nauseum. It's offensive and it's crackheadish. And I am not one of his friends to give him permission to say that. But I can tell you this, I have white friends, and I would damn sure not be friends with a person like that, me being a person of color. You don't have to play at being an asshole, right? You don't have to be the person trying to get attention all the time. See, that's what happens to these damn celebrities and why they end up losing money and why they ass end up being in jail. Because when you're hot, and people will cater to you and sit
Preach.
around there and lie to
go
you because you're
me.
giving their ass
Yes.
$5,000 or $10,000. But then when the money
Preach.
stop going and your ass in jail, then you're gonna be sitting there like, but I thought I was king of the world. No, they were just lying to you because you were popular and you had some money. Absolutely not. I am not gonna live in their little Delulu land. And then, what happens? 9 times out of 10, they lose their wealth or they end up in jail. So I
Fact,
don't like it. You
Nikki.
ain't got to do all that. If you're
You
not
know
a
what, you
Amen.
crazy
guys?
person, stand on your own. You don't have to do all that performative shit. Like, what is going on?
You know what,
Right.
you got? You know what, you guys? I have worked in corporate America,
Oh, I was
and
about
it
to laugh.
doesn't matter if you are a star or not. When you work in corporate America, you're on stage. They want you to act appropriately, so it doesn't matter if you're a star or not. I don't care for Grant because Grant plays with our race. Grant makes a lot of money off of black people, and he plays the role when he's in the room with them. Stormy Wellington is one of the ones that he hangs out with, and they go into the black community and they make a lot of money. So to me, in society, you have to 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 do a role, play a role. It doesn't matter if you're a star or not. I work for Bank of America, and we went to classes where they taught us that we're on stage. When we had on that Bank of America shirt, or anybody knew we worked for Bank of America, we were on stage. If we got in trouble or did something that we were not supposed to, we got fired. So it doesn't stop with corporate America. It doesn't stop with being a star. It's our society, period. So for me, I hear you guys saying that you have to talk a certain way or move a certain way. I don't give a damn. Either you like me or you don't. And when it comes to corporate America or any other job, I roll how I want to roll. You can't put me in a box. If you do business with me, you do business with me. And if you don't do business with me, you don't. I have my own business now, so I don't have to dance to anybody beat or talk a certain way. Either you like me or you don't, because somebody's going to do business with me. If you don't do it, somebody else will. I'm finished speaking.
You know,
Okay, now
I,
hold on, because
I've been in business for a long time, and I agree with you 1,000%. That's why I feel exactly like you do. I hung my own shingles 23 years ago, and that's the reason why I did, because I wanted to choose my own clients. I didn't want to be dictated to. I didn't want to have to code switch when I didn't want to. So that is literally the reason I think, and I'll just say this and close my mic. When you want to be famous, then the public actually controls your identity. See, and that's never been a goal of mine. I don't want to be famous. Matter of fact, the less people know me, the better it is for me. I've never wanted to be famous, never wanted to generate. I just wanted my work and my company to speak for themselves. I want to be the quiet one that nobody ever knows, and I can walk into Walmart and nobody knows who I am. That's the difference. Grant and people like him are actually working really hard to be a household name. And that's
Yeah,
the problem.
absolutely.
yeah, but I'm gonna give pushback on Ga Pimple and the young lady who just says she make people stars, and because and I'm just only speaking about Grant, nobody else. I don't care about other celebrities. It's talking about for Grant purpose. With and she Ga said Buddy is wearing three different outfits. But like Mickey said, you only got it's you. It's only one person that you represent, and you don't. In my opinion, you don't have three different outfits. And the fact that if he wants to be this superstar, but he's also known to make a bunch of racist remarks and and then say, "Oh, but I'm for blacks," and then even he right that I was on here in the beginning of Clubhouse when he was running around here telling black folks to sell their homes and invest the money with him. Some things I can't give passes to, and people like, well, but he's a good guy. He's married, yeah. So was certain clans, man. But I don't mean they ain't have slaves in the back. Picking cotton. Like some of the excuses y'all gave to that man, it doesn't mean shit. To be honest, it doesn't mean shit. He doesn't deserve. Oh, that's why I said you and her. Not saying that you said certain statements. I'm just going. I'm talking to GA in the chat, but. Uh, yeah, no, Grant doesn't deserve no grievance at all. No, oh, he's a good guy, but he takes nice pictures. That's what you expect. You don't expect him to be beating his wife or anything, but look at how he treats Mickey when he comes on here, or Terry. And Terry's a white lady, but how he carries on with her to the point where she's crying because he's talking to her about acting like she got some disease or some vaginal problems or whatever. Like, and y'all think you can turn that on and off or switch that from being I'm the good guy over here, but tonight I'm gonna be this little demon guy. Like, hell nah. And I'm sure if he was to try to run for governor or any political seat of value, the clips that would come out off of Clubhouse alone will probably bury him, and people will be like, I am not fucking with that shit. He is
You know
not
how many
gonna.
people love it? You know how many people will love it? How many sick people
Nah,
will
nah,
love
Exactly
it?
that part.
I'm not. He's not. He wouldn't make it with that shit. Now I understand you talking about the other like MAGA type people. But they're
Masses
doing shit out
there.
of
They
pure
eat
Right.
it up.
ignorance.
And they eat
They're
it
doing
up
shit
and
out of
they
pure ignorance though. Them I don't even give them no credence
But you're
because they
absolutely,
don't
yeah,
even
you're
think.
absolutely right.
They just hear what Trump says and just follow along. They don't think for themselves. A bunch of
Yeah,
sheep, to be
the
honest with
sheep.
you.
The sheep would follow.
yeah.
But personally, if I was to ever meet the man, I would just he like I wouldn't want to meet him. How about that? I just like
Yeah, but there's some people who think
so
his
he's in
ice is color.
character, so this and that. But and I'm not even gonna say Grant anymore. I'm gonna say and an individual who's like that, who plays all these things, but when it comes to a space where you witness it and you hear it, and yes, you're in character when you push it too far, then and it sells,
That's
and I
not
get it,
character. That's
but
just
it's
who he
but
is.
I didn't buy it. I'm not going to buy it because you know what? I just don't want to be associated with anyone that can have that shit come out of their mouth. Like I don't want the association. Period.
Right, but they broke it
And
up to three different grants. Like, oh, he's that's just his character, or he's in his Batman uniform. Bullshit. That's who he. This he ain't no damn Bruce Wayne, and then putting on his suit, being Batman. Like this is who he is. He ain't got no damn suit. He's it's just
like to
who
the
he
core.
is.
And then yeah, you're right. And then I think like from what I know he's a salesman. And and then I think about it. Okay, so he's a salesman and it's now maybe he's earned so much and he's worked hard at whatever he does and he's acquired so much money, his wealth, his net worth, whatever it is, or however he did it, that it gives him an entitlement now to have to be that way. And then it takes me further back to think, you know what? He was probably like bad shit broke, just like me.
No, he absolutely was. He says he ate McDonald's out of the trash. He smoked crack or drugs, whatever drugs, not
Yeah,
crack. I don't know.
Oh,
some
really?
drugs
No,
No,
I've
and
never.
alcohol.
absolutely. He says he ate out of the
Yeah,
trash.
he's told his life story before.
Yeah, no,
Mm-hmm.
no, I've never heard
She's
it. I've
right.
never heard it.
But see,
But
here's
I concluded that I said this guy must have been broke as shit like me and a very like not entitled at all, even though he's white, but not entitled. For him to want to like to climb out and work hard, but now that he's sitting on the other side, and because he's made X amount of money, that now he has this entitlement to act a certain way. That well, I'm going to be accepted now, and whatever comes out of my mouth, and if he's learned this game, then then good for you. But it doesn't that game. I don't buy it. You know, like on a shelf, there's things you buy and you don't buy because either it's on sale or because the quality of it or because yeah, no, this is just I'm not going to buy it. If he's on the shelf, I wouldn't buy it. But there's tons of people that are behind me that would die to buy that particular product and think, "Oh, I'm in the in because I'm buying this product." Well, here, you know, two per customer. Well, I'll buy two and you can have it because you know, I
Yeah,
don't
he's
care.
he's that guy that has the membership card, like the young brother said earlier. He's the guy that goes into the membership, and finally relaxes. That's what he is. But now he done took it from the membership from the country clubhouse, and he just does it on the internet with a bunch of strangers. And
Yeah.
it shows obviously that you like we can tell when certain people don't act like you don't hang around certain
Yeah.
cultures enough because you try to do enough to fit in or say certain things or ask to say certain words. Like I don't get around
Yeah,
white people and
absolutely.
start trying to act white, but for him it's totally different. And then when you get the pushback, now you offended and you start saying out of pocket stuff. Like I'm not giving that man no grace. Like
No, 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 no. And then I've met people that have, a stupid amount of money and they're very quiet, they're polite,
and they go about their own way quietly. But then they have what's it called? They have
Decorum.
yeah, decorum, and they have like money
Oh,
from
old.
old money. They have oh gosh, it's escaped my mind right now. They come from money. They have generational wealth. So they don't. They've never been from zero to having so much money that they don't. They don't. They don't have to go that way in order to they don't need to sell themselves because whatever work they do or whatever they do, they just and they're very quiet. Hey, good morning. Their conversation is very simple. And then again, they whoever they're talking to, they read the room, and they tend to be very withdrawn to themselves. And you know what? They're trying to get to their family and have a very quiet and you know. So that's where I see the difference people that come from money tend to not be that way. So, but doesn't mean I would buy that product.
I
I mean,
I
And a
got
lot
some
old
of
money
people
pushback
be
for
are
racist
going
that.
as
to,
I
fuck
got some
too.
pushback.
and good on
I got
them.
some pushback
Yeah,
for
and
that.
this brings me back to my point about fame and wanting to be famous, as opposed to like under the radar wealthy. Like I know so many under the radar wealthy people that are just amazing, but when you're seeking that fame, you have to realize. So okay, they get bored. They run out of things to do. So what do? They're okay. They start saying shit that's off the cuff, doing shit that's off the cuff, wearing swastikas, saying racial stuff like this guy we're talking about. Okay, they get the biggest jet. They get four jets, and then they get a yacht. And then the yacht is so big it can't even dock it anywhere. And then they
I'm not
got the
mad at any
biggest
of that.
yacht. And then they went to every island, every vacation, every private island. They've been every place. And then what happens? Shit like freak offs. Well, I'm bored now. I did everything. I shopped every fucking day. I went shopping, and people bought me new shit. So what now?
Yeah, but
Let's do.
that
Let's.
doesn't mean anything because everything you just brought out, I don't have no problem with. You earned the money by means. Have fun with it. My thing is whether it's new money or old money. Old money is just like they might not say nothing, but they won't do any business with you. They got companies out here doing hundreds of millions of dollars, and but they won't hire any person
Absolutely. But I'm talking
of color.
opposed to the
But I'm
person
just
who's
saying
the
the amount of
person
what he buys his money with, like the planes and that's cool. He ain't that. I'm not knocking any of that or having FOs if that's what I don't
yeah.
care about any of that. I'm just speaking about the mindset of people old money or new money where either saying crazy stuff out your mouth uh
Exactly.
on apps or on social media whatever it is or
Hmm.
you got old money and you worth all this money but you decide not to hire any people of color or if they are hired they're at the lowest ranking part of your business probably making minimum wage or something nobody's at the director
Okay. Can I stop
part
you for one
so
sec
that's
there?
huh
But here's
that's all I was about to say so you have to stop me. Yeah, you had to stop me
okay.
because that's all I was about to say is these are the things you have to I pay attention to. I don't care what he spend his money on. I'm just talking about the character in your mindset of how you was raised, what your parents taught you, and what you think is okay. Like I'm sure. I don't know if his parents are alive or not right now, but I'm sure him seeing his them seeing how he speaks. Maybe they'll say, "Hey, you shouldn't talk like that towards certain people," or they don't give a fuck, But it's all about how you was raised and the mindset that they invoked in him to be, you know, so broke in the beginning, and now you up and you not humble. Like not saying you gotta be humble, but you just you spewing bullshit, because every time he comes in here, Mickey eat his ass up and he leaves, or they try to kick her out because he whooping his ass every time on some shit like we all got smartphones. You could have looked this shit up yourself, but you in here want to be, oh, the ghetto women oh, it's the ghettos in here, ignorant shit like that. That's
But
all I'm
why
Yeah,
do
saying.
you
yeah.
let
So
a
I
fake
have I
person
have a
piss you
short
off that
story.
way?
A girlfriend of mine went to high school. She's Latina, and she had an opportunity in Costa Rica, in Jaco, Costa Rica, where they were the property managers of all these villas, and it was like a resort villa, yachts, and everything. So she made a lot of money. And years later, she goes, "Okay, when are you going to come to Costa Rica? We have an apartment here and you can come." Okay, so I went, and okay, it was friggin' hot. It was like 35 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but let's just say it was over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It was really, really hot. And the middle of the day, I would have to go inside this little it's a little condo. It's a bunch of condos on this resort, but they have villas as well. And I would go inside. I was like, "Fuck, it's really, really hot." Then I would see the workers, the gardeners. They were wearing like the sneakers, socks, pants, a long sleeve shirt, and a t-shirt on top of that, and a hat. And I'm like, holy shit, it's so hot. So every time I would see the gardeners around, I would go and get them. I'd get a thing of water and I'd open the door and say, "You need water, drink water," because I don't know, how do you do it? And then I spoke to my girlfriend. I said, "Hey, San, like, why are these gardeners wearing so many clothes? Like, it's freaking hot. Like, this is inhumane. Like, isn't this your job? Like, you're the property manager." She goes, "Yeah, but see, Tammy, you don't understand. What happens is the people that, because apparently they were all American who have these villas and this yacht thing." She goes, they're all American and they're all white and they don't want to see their skin." So I go, "No, hold on a second. I get it. Okay, 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 all right, okay. I see what you, okay, and now I know where you're coming from. But come on, San, like, think about it. That's just insane because they don't want to see their skin. So they have to dress and dress up and cover their entire thing, and they're sweating bullets. Yeah, yeah, we make sure they have water bottles. And I go, "San, I've been handing out water. I've been like bringing out water to all of them as much as I can." And that is like, how do you live like that? Like, knowing, she goes, "I know, but I got to do it because we're the property managers and we have to cater to them." Now, on the same breath, they go, "Oh, the other day on our yacht, Beyonce and Jess, this is way before they had children. Oh, they pulled up in the boat and so celebrity pulled up." I go, "I don't give a flying fuck who showed up, who you guys catered to. Sandra, deep down inside, you have to have a core value, and you need your staff to be safe and to treat them with dignity. How do you live with yourself? Like, I understand it's your job and this and that, but you know what? Like, break that shit and say, listen, if turn it around and tell them, if you had to do this and I mean, you wouldn't be able to do it just because of the color of your skin."
But she would lose her job in 2 seconds if she told her bosses that.
Yeah. And she goes, "No, but Tammy, I have to. I have to." I go, You know what? I couldn't have your job. I'm so sorry. I don't care how much money it would make, but it's the core of me. It's the core of me inside. I would not be able to live with myself. I would not be able
Right,
to
Tammy, but
sleep.
Tammy, that's you. I'm just being, and not, I'm not like being a
Yeah,
wife.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, I understand. It was just a
Well,
story that
yeah,
seeing her, like, we grew up
conform.
like broke. We grew up of skin of color. We grew up being treated differently. We grew up. And now that you're an adult and your husband yes, he's from England, but he's South Asian, Pakistani, Indian. So both of you are of color, but both of you, and I get it, it's your money, but and you know what? It kind of started to push me away from her. I never really told her, but it's just the core of her really turned me off, and it affected the relationship, my friendship with her, because no amount of money could get me to do that, to be inhumane like that.
But you
Like,
know what? Those
no,
quiet, rich
it
people
was
that you
just
talked about,
disgusting. So,
those,
and now she's broke.
those quiet, nice, polite, rich people that you talked about that have decorum, those are the people. That was my pushback to you because I live in the
Yep.
South. I live in Charleston. It's the old money that does exactly what you just said. That's what old money does. We don't want to see their skin. Oh, how you doing? It's so nice. Oh, you guys are doing a wonderful job. That's what they do. The old, quiet, nice, polite money that's decorum and they don't say all the crazy stuff like Grant says and all of that stuff. That's what they do. That's what
Yeah.
they have done for decades. Those are the people that I have an issue with. Those are the people I move differently around. I say all the time, I'm never offended by Grant because I know he's fake. I know nothing he says is real. I know that I don't know how many different faces he has, but I can't be offended by somebody who's clout chasing, who's struggling to get people to talk about him.
Say
I
it
am
again.
never offended by people like that ever because the people that are the my grandmother has this saying, the empty wagon makes the most noise. Loud people like him, I know that there's no value there really. And I'm never threatened by that. Neither am I going to waste any time being offended. So I'm always confused when people are so offended by the ridiculous, left, completely crazy stuff he says because he's just saying it to get a reaction. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to give him one.
Yep.
But it's the old money that's 19 generations long, that's quiet. They don't say anything. You don't see them. They nod in the street. They do that. Those are the people that I look for. Those are the people that I'm wary around because that's the person that will smile in my face and say, "Oh man, I am such a fan of how you've done your business and you've grown it up from nothing and you guys are just doing phenomenal." And they'll undercut
Yeah.
my
Like they're
deal
giving you the
in the
little
back.
pat on the shoulder, like, oh, good work.
Right. This little
Like,
puppy
here's your
pat on the
biscuit.
head.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah. And yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah,
Those are the
yeah,
people that tick me
yeah,
off. And those are the people that I watch for.
yeah, yeah. And they think that we don't spot them. They actually think that they have it covered. And it's like, no, dude, I can read right through you. Like I've been around. I respect the ones that are like just blob it out and just say it and that, but the ones that are like polite and this and no, 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 no. Those are the ones you gotta not fear the most, but those are the ones like, yeah, fuck you when they turn around. It's like, I don't wanna, nothing. No, no amount. And oh, would you like to? Oh, but no, thank you, thank you. No, thank you. No,
Right, but which is worse? Somebody who says it in your face like a GC, or someone who fakes and then N words at the table at the dinner table? Someone who fakes in your face and then N words at the dinner table, or somebody like Grant who at least talks shit to your face. Like it's all bad. I'm not advocating
That's a bunch of
yeah,
negative.
bullshit.
it is all
All bad.
bad. But I prefer the ones I think that just do it in your face because they're being authentic. They're not putting on a mask. They're just, it's coming right out of their mouth in your face in real time, as opposed to the ones that are just, they're doing it's so subtle. It's so subtle how they do it.
Nah, it's
And
they're the
it,
same person. You know, the one that says it to your face or says it quiet. It's the same person.
oh
One
no,
just,
of course,
you
yeah,
know, it ain't like, you know, at the end of the day, they gonna hold opportunities against you. They not gonna bring you up when it's time for promotions. They're not gonna do anything to benefit you. Whether
yep,
he says it to
yep,
your face, you a nigga, or he rather not say that, you know, speak like that. But his actions is gonna say everything it needs to be said. Like,
yep,
you know,
yep, yep,
so
yep,
it doesn't matter about how vocal he is or not.
yep,
His actions will tell you exactly how he feels about you. You know, and you know you're the only person meant for a certain job or have skills in a certain job, and they would rather make you the teacher to teach somebody else versus giving you that position or whatever it
yep,
could be. But just know that we can't act like there's a difference on the one that's quiet as hell versus the one
yep,
that say it to your face. I
It's
really don't like when
absolutely
people.
a
I really don't
difference,
like when
yeah,
people
Milton.
yeah.
do that. But not saying
I
y'all
It's
had
do. But I'm
absolutely
just
I
a
had
saying
a
in
difference.
general
job.
when people do that,
I had a
it's
job,
it's the
and I
same
worked for
person.
the manager, and there would be internal postings, and I would apply for them because I was qualified, and the job was always taken by another white woman, and to top it off, I had more seniority than them, and I let it go the first time, right? And the posting came up again. I applied again and I didn't get it. And then again, it was another person, another white woman who was, who had less seniority than me. Now, this time I said, no, 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 hold on. I'm going to actually speak to the manager. I work for the manager, I assist the manager. Now I'm going to speak to her and say, okay, what is it that is not, what is it that I'm missing? Because I feel I'm very qualified to do the job. Oh, Tammy, it's just that they have other further education in this area, in that area. So therefore, that made them much more qualified for the job. I said, I know, but what happens to my seniority here? And the thing is, I've obtained that education or have learned from being here, from experience. So I believe I'm very qualified for that position. And oh, that's nice. And those blue eyes would just turn around and say, "Well, that's just gonna be it." And I'm like, "Fuck you, damn bitch! Like you bitch! Like you're fucking hiring your own kind is what it is. You're hiring your own kind. You're only moving up certain people, but you're fucking keeping me down here." And it's like, fuck this. I mean, I stayed there for 10 years and then I was like, you know what? They don't value me. So I'm not gonna be here. I'm gonna go where I'm valued for my skills and everything. Cause that's at the end of the day, that's what matters, right? Who puts out? But anyways, yeah, that was another thing. Ugh. And she came from old money, which you got like generational wealth, old money. You could see it because it's just so how they come across so soft and so this and ugh, I did her baby shower too and I got her a great cake. I tried to impress her in the beginning and nothing. Like ugh. Anyways, I land with that.
You know what? And I push back because I said there's a huge difference. And I say this all the time. People that are loud with their either with their arrogance, with their ignorance, with their racism, pick whatever you want. Their ratchetness, pick whatever deficiency you want. People that are loud have no power to affect your life. Zero to affect your life. And the whole point of them being loud is to convince you that they do. Because, see, here's the thing, the people that have actual some inroads to affect your life, affect your business, affect whatever, those people don't have to be loud. They just do what they do. They just do what they do. They don't have to convince. See, when you have power, you don't have to convince people that you have it. You don't have to convince people of that. You just use it. But people that don't have any power, their whole job is to convince people that they actually matter when they don't. I have not lost one red cent from somebody who has said anything derogatory to my face. Not one. Why? Because they have zero power to affect my life, zero power to affect my business, zero power to affect my children, zero power. The only thing that they have left that they could actually offer is their opinion, and they can only offer it in my face, which I give it no value. Now, the people who actually thought negatively about me, they could act that had some power. Those people never told me to my face, ever. They never said anything derogatory to my face, ever. They didn't even say it to my people, to my staff, to anybody. But when it got time to sign the contract, I found out ended around, well, you know what, we were going to go with your company, but, you know, I had a couple of conversations with XYZ and this person, and we decided to go in a different direction. Doing some digging, now I found out that that person never wanted me to have that contract. That's the difference. That is the
Yeah,
huge difference. Power, when you
yeah,
have it, you don't have to shout it. When you don't have it, then I got to get in your face and try to convince you and tell you that this is what I think about you, blah, 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 blah. If I got power to affect your life, I ain't got to say nothing to you. I just ruin your life in quiet and go on about my business.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's exactly what she did. I'll never forget those blue eyes. Just looked, okay, we're done, and just walked away because it was just the power, right? And it wasn't just because she was my manager, because I could have gone to someone else, but it was that, yeah, she was using that on me. And I, it's like, I'm reading it. I'm reading it. I know what you're doing. And that's fine. But so, like they say, if you don't like where you are, you know what you do? You pick yourself and you leave. That's what you do.
That's
You
right. Shameless plug. I'd like to shout out Jonathan Bing and Daphne Christine's course. Get on it, y'all.
just pick up and leave. That's it. You don't need to be there.
Exactly.
No, you don't need to be there at all. Just go on about your way. Ugh.
Shameless plug is funny. I just want to say that.
You like my shameless plug?
I like it. 'Cause, yeah, definitely.
No, those guys over deliver and they teach people how to make money and how to create generational wealth. Um, yeah, Jonathan's course absolutely over delivers, y'all. It's unbelievable. Highly recommend it.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, listen, I'm quite happy. No generation wealth. Still gotta work. Still gotta hustle. Gotta teach my kids, guys, you gotta hustle. We were just born on this side where we gotta hustle. But you know what? We have good times. We laugh. We pull it off. We pretend we're white. We are on the phone. We act a certain way and blah blah blah. Oh yeah, I pulled off my white dog, da, 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 and da, da, oh, da, 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 and da, 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 and I got it and da da da. And then my what would hurt me is my name, my last name. Tammy, every time I went anywhere, right? You hear Tammy, you see blonde and you see blue eyes, right? For the most part. And not anymore, but for me, that's what I experienced throughout my entire life. It's like, that's not your real name. Listen, it's my real name. Yes, thank you. I had to give him the whole freaking spiel why my name was Tammy. And but I would see it all the time if I went to the bank, if I went for a job interview, if I went anywhere I went, they would call out my name Tammy, and I would, naturally just turn around your head and they look at me, but they would keep looking around. And it's like, well, obviously I'm giving you eye contact, it's me. But I get it, I don't look like a Tammy. and it would bother me, but eventually people, I asked them later on, I'm like, okay, when you first met me in this, and now that you know me, do I really look like a Tammy to you? They're like, yeah, you do. I go, okay, because I'm trying to break this stupid stereotype that my name is Tammy. And I can't help that that's what my parents named me. Like, and I'm gonna break that, I wanna break that stereotype. And but going through it, it was here we go again, here we go again, here we go again. Oh, I thought you were like someone who was married to a Latin person because of your last name. And it's like, yeah, I know, I get that a lot. Okay, let's go on. Like, what do we need to do? What do you, right? Like, let's move on. Don't get caught up on my stupid name. Like, don't get caught up on that. Just take me for who I am, And they always got to ask questions. And, oh, that's a nice start. Da, da, da. It's like, yes. And then I got to talk to them with that smile. And I got to be fake right back. Yeah, that's another thing. I got to be. People call me at work or something. It's like, yo, man, that doesn't sound like you. I'm like, I'm fucking working, man. What do you want me to talk? Like, I gotta pull out that English where, yeah, what do you want? Like, text me. Why are you calling me? I told you, don't text me. Don't call me when I'm at work. Because I gotta put on a different voice. And then you guys start laughing because of my how I talk. And yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with code switching. They should understand that. That's how we gotta do to get in them boardrooms.
Hey,
Hi, Susan.
hey, don't be upset by that. Hey, at least somebody can pronounce your last name. Do you know how they butcher mine? At least they can at least pronounce it.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I make him pronounce it in frickin' Spanish, man. 'Cause my last name is Martinez. And he goes, "Oh, is it Martinez? Martinez. Oh, Martinez. Yes, Martinez, not Martinez."
I just tell people, I'm like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. GA is fine. Just handle the first two initials. Don't even worry about the last name. We know you talking about me. Just give up. Just go ahead and just give up.
Oh yeah, no, no. When I was younger, I used to be really like I would look at them and I would like really move my teeth in my mouth and say Martinez. Get it down right. So then every time they would always make sure they would say Martinez. I go, listen, it's the second most popular name in baseball, all right? After Smith, number two is Martinez. And you never hear them on TV saying, such and such pitcher, da 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 da, Martinez. No, they say Martinez. So it's Martinez, which is the equal name to a Smith, like rice. We say like it's like rice, lots of it. It's not no unique name or anything. So the second most popular name in baseball. But yeah, all right, guys, I'm gonna go back to bed, and everybody have yourselves a
To be
great.
fair, those
Sorry.
to be fair, those baseball announcers, they're all around Mexicans, so they're used to saying those names, and they practice.
Oh, is that what it is?
I think
Well,
so.
you think so? Because I mean, I'm talking about like the '80s. Alomar, Alomar. He played for the Jays. I'm in Toronto, and they would say Alomar. Alomar, and they were white. Because we would see them on TV, but they would say the names, and I could actually see that they were white saying these names. I mean, I haven't seen a Martinez. It's more Hernandez and stuff like that. But in here, I've seen it in the commentators here in the '80s. You would see them more, and they were white, and maybe in the United States, but here in Canada, there's no Latin commentators. There are no Latin commentators. They're all white.
Hey Tammy,
Er,
and when it
Yes,
comes to your name, dude, I was watching the Super Bowl halftime show this past Thanksgiving, and then
right,
this dude that sings this country song, "Pour Me a Shot of Whiskey," right? Really
right.
good, popular song, right? I thought that man was white, and that fucking guy walks on stage black with dreadlocks. Oh, fuck. I almost dropped my goddamn turkey legs. I wasn't expecting that. I was shocked. Not that I'm racist, but I was like, God damn, that guy is fucking black, singing, sounds like a white redneck country dude. So I can see some white people being shocked by your name, Tammy, and then they see you, you know?
How you think Black America felt when we found out Bobby Caldwell was white? We was
Really?
all taken aback. We all
There
felt
you
hoodwinked,
go.
man.
Oh, kind of like the what was that Chappelle show where the blind KKK member? You
Yeah,
guys ever
yeah,
seen that
yeah. I
skit?
know what you're talking.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, dude, that
Hmm.
was hilarious.
Man, we've been playing Bobby Caldwell at the cookout and at the barbecue and been dancing. And we found out Bobby Caldwell was white. We was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Yeah. Okay. Good night, everybody. Sheree, Quentin, and everybody else in Clubhouse.
Buenas tardes.
Okay. Good night. Back to sleep.